celebrate my wife. I celebrate Precious in Marido, Favor in Marido, the two Favor in my house. I celebrate them. Santos in Marido, Wina in Marido, Maria in Marido. I wish them happy new year. God will continue to strengthen us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Let me wake up the people of Ogwaland and the energy of Ogwa, Royal Highness Barrister Victor, the energy of Ogwa. I wish him happy new month. I wish that I don't really happy new month. Odo Ogoka, Gerald, my friend, Mr. Libide overall, Musa, and where do I come in? Mr. Olagbide, Matete, Peperepe, and Gerald from Airport Road, and Baba Jerry for Obeje, the landlord and landlady from the building, my tenant, my wife, all the workers. I celebrate them this morning. That is Iyoha, Chief Pius, Iyoha from Mugwa, aka UAC. I celebrate them. Mr. Harry from Ihate, the Golden Voice of EBS, and the Adelabu of Eastland, and the Adelabu of Ogwaland. I wish them happy new month in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right. Thank you very much. Happy new month in Jesus' name. Amen. Hi, good morning. Who's on the radio?
You love me. Okay. Killing me the breakfast day. All our Lord is the Queen. Tyler. What's up with the moon? Good morning, University. Happy New
Monster, you know me.
All right, go ahead. Endurance. When you wake up, please quickly.
Happy New Year.
Happy new month to you, my dear.
Good morning.
Morning. How far now? What's up?
I'm fine, no. I'm fine.
Hope you
my
slept
neck
well.
is paining.
You slept on the wrong side of the bed, or you slept in the wrong position.
I carry load for that side, I don't know.
Where you carry load go for that side?
We call my family. Again now. We call my family.
All right. What am I waking up with? Police siren.
Staff, management, and OSHC fans worldwide, Homa City fans worldwide, OSC Flyover fans worldwide, Look Up Paris Song, and everyone on my list with police siren.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Let's get back to the phone lines this morning. FC Fine. Okay. Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my people.
Our governor.
How are you this morning? Mr.
I'm good, and you guys?
Matiti, right?
Yes, bro. Happy new month.
Same to you.
Same to you.
This month continues to be a month of blessing to you all.
Amen.
Yeah, and as people continue to come to your studio to bring palliative measures to those who are in need, we God continue to touch you guys to grant all your heart desires to Christ our Lord.
Amen.
We are going to wake up the following persons this beautiful morning. Wake up my dear wife, Mrs. Wake up my baby. Wake up again from Airport Road, my parents, wake up my brothers and sisters, wake up my immediate and extended family members, wake up all the parish priests in Edo State, wake up all the APC members in Edo State, as we move on for the primary election. Also wake up the victim for Boston University, wake up everyone, all the KU staff, for all my friends and well-wishers, benefactors and benefactresses, wake everyone up to the sound of the triumphant trumpet.
Okay.
As I said before, I wish you guys a beautiful month, a favorable month, and a successful month ahead.
Thank you so much. I wish you the same too.
Okay, of course, it is still the Key Breakfast Show. It's a wakey here. And of course, it is Charles and Orlando, the Breakfast Gang, in the studio. This morning, when I came into the office, I was like, hey, this month,
it's a month of grace.
Yes. That's why we were shouting 2020.
2020 is our year. 2020
now,
is our year.
Everybody's on public holiday. What is all? It started last
Today is public holiday, by the way, but what's different? Today is Workers' Day. By the way, a big shout out to all the workers out there, especially our health workers. You guys are the biggest MVP right now. A big shout out to you and all the essential service providers, like us. We are the MVP.
Yeah.
And all of you out there that is also trying to make sure you put food on the table. Happy Workers' Day to all of you. Teachers, doctors, lawyers, farmers, especially the farmers. Without you, we can eat a lot. I remember that debate.
I'll tell you
a
about
doctor and a farmer. Who is more better? Who is better?
Hi, good morning.
Morning to you, City. Good morning, State. Good morning, Delta State. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the whole world. Good morning, the Perico Earth. Everywhere, good morning.
DJ Smith, good morning. Same to you. Happy New Month. Let's work on a very short list this morning. I'm giving you 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, your list has expired. Start.
Remember the feedback now. You are going to week all the KFM fans club, all the KFM staff and management, week all the Sweet Boys associations, week all the Man United and week everyone on my list with the Sweet Boys rap.
Okay, have a great day ahead, DJ Smith. God bless you.
Fresh guy. Look at how I fly, my fresh ride. Look at how I shine with no respite. Always on time, like the first.
All right, guys, it is still the wakey here. Let's go back to the phone line this morning. Hi, good morning.
Charles the podcast in the building.
Hey, that's the nicest boy on the planet. Wagwan, man. Nice boy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to you, nice boy. What a guan.
I'm fine now. Happy New Month, guys.
Same to you. Hope you slept well.
Very well.
Right.
And you?
I did.
That's good. I wake up my family this morning. Wake up all KFM fans and management. And wake up everybody using the dance and business place. Wake everybody up with the sound of the trumpet this morning.
All right,
there you go. Coming right off for you, man. There you go.
Bridesmaid giving me face. My sister no just one giving me space. Now them they rush us, we not really the case.
Yes, so fine boys like us, I am the
Who is rushing you?
Definitely. I'll show you a picture later. Hi, good morning.
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month to you, Sapeperepe. Good morning.
Happy New Month to you, the Vice President.
Hey, happy New Month to you. Sapeperepe.
I hope you are coming to read a lot.
Hey, my brother, should I send it to you so you just, I can open it so you put something inside?
No, we need something big inside.
Something big inside.
Because if you go to the problem, you need to and you must keep on lap of over 1 hour.
Oh yeah, wait.
This morning, I want to wish Papa Happy New Month. Happy New Month. Everybody at the notice and the better. Happy New Month.
Same to you.
Sweet boy, fresh guy. Look at how I fly, my fresh ride. Look at how I shine with no respite. Always on time like the first flight. But I make them squeeze eye when I check time. Oh boy, on the aircon, pour me water. You know the boy, no be your mate, call me brother.
Alright, let's get back to the messages here. Good morning, Orlando and Charles. My name is Enahuru Samson, the Ogadima 1. of KUFM Radio. I want to wake up the following wonderful people with Bendel Insurance Anthem. Okay, let's just do this for you. Okay.
Now, Mr. Tam.
They are my lovely wife, Mrs. Selina Inauro, and my lovely children, my lovely mom, Mrs. Esther Inauro, my elder brother, Mr. Sunday Inauro, and my other siblings, Mrs. Jane Ukoyen Inauro, Mr. Babatunde Salami, Reverend Austin Ikwegbe, Mr. Jerry Onokwa, Mr. Samson Agbolaho, Mr. Fred Newton, Mr. Austin Isikweme, Mr. Chris Aragbe, Pastor Samuel Osaga, Pastor Solomon Osegale, Mr. Okwarubo Ifusa Samson, Bishop Dr. Chris Otaigbe, Mrs. Blessing M. Iriofolo, Mr. Fred Newton, Mr. Charles Eche, Mr. Ude Ragbai, Mr. Daniel Izehi Mr. Matthew Ayodele Ojo, Miss Stephanie Mugulo, Mr. Musa from Lucky Way, Mr. Jerry Onokwa, Mr. Saliu Ibrahim Mohammed, and Mr. Sanofe Francis, and Mr. Ayusa Aigbeka.
We are Insurance Football Club.
Hey, let's go there. Let's go there.
All right, this was a good
Come
morning.
and employ me to hype this song, as in the background hyping. They should redo it.
Hype MC.
And I just say, aye, let's go there. Bend there.
Good morning, Benin City. Good morning, Edo State. Good morning, Nigeria. Happy New Month, Charles and Orlando. Good morning. Wake up my great family, the Ibididus family, home and away. Also wake up all KUFM fans, club members. Shout out to Endurance, Osewa Young, Samuel, Comrade Gift, Sosa Ibinidu, aka Ese Love. All right, thank you very much. This one says, good morning, Charles and Orlando. Please help me wake everybody with Ridodo's rap. Thank you from Geneva. And this one says, good morning, Orlando and Charlie. Okay. He says, good morning. Hope you had a good night rest. As you see today, first of May, every good thing will increase in your life in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Goes on to say, good morning, Orlando and Charlie. Hope you had a good night rest. As all KUFM fans see today, first of May, every good thing will increase in their life in Jesus' name.
Amen.
From Ernest, aka Baba E. Okay, and this one says, good morning, Benin City. Good morning, Uromi City. Good morning, Charles and God's love. I want to wake my family, a Mankus and a Teribase, the number one person in Edo State, Mr. Gordon Obaseki, and the number two person, Philip Shribu, Frank Okie, Speaker, Edo House of Assembly, Archbishop of Benin City, Archdiocese, Most Reverend Dr. Augustine Obiora Akubueze, Very Reverend Father Isaac, Reverend Father Ben, Very Reverend Father Greg Ekato, all members of Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Namayo, Endurance and DJ Smith, and everybody on their list, all Arsenal fans, keep the faith, the Lord is our strength, with Cha Cha Rap from Wilfred from Upper Sockbombara. Thank you very much, Wilfred. And this one says, quote of the day, never ignore a person who cares for you, because someday you will realize you've lost a diamond while you were collecting stones. And this is from Edith. Thank you very much, Edith. Orlando, take note. Move on.
Why did you have to mention my name? What's your problem?
You like stones. Let's
I
go
love
on.
diamonds.
Well, they are stones too. May our dreams come true, may our wishes be fulfilled, and may this day bring us many more for reasons to celebrate. Okay, a blessed and fulfilled day to all KUFM fans. I think this is from Nice Boy. And this one says, good morning, Olga, Charlie, and Orlando. Hope you guys slept well. Happy New Month to you. Please help me with my family, my friends, all Liverpool fans, and all KU fans. Wilson from Delta State. All right, thank you very much, Wilson. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. We gotta go right now, but remember it's Friday. You want to turn up, see what you do. Put on your Zoom app.
Yes.
Or your Instagram app,
Live.
And go live. Or your Facebook live, you know. They can now turn up, you know.
What do you think we should go live with our fans on time?
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah. So guys, coming up by 6:15 a.m. is the weather forecast, and of course today in history, and we're on the news is saying Workers' Mark May Day on a low-key celebration. Who has that strength?
On the low. I know that's why you're typing. Type it quick.
It's Kelpie Vibes.
Angelina, you dey cool my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver. I no go fall in your hand never. So now me you could love forever. I'm a cocky no feeble letter. I'm a Angelina, with my Angelina. order. Anytime when I see you for the club or the television, your body. Sure you know no say the thing when you carry 50 kill somebody. You know I feel a vibe, you feel a vibe, so baby whine about me. Yeah. And I know you shy, but it's cool when we're making love. On the low, on the low, on the low, on the low, on the low.
DC Comics or Detective Comics number 27 for the first time on this day in 1930. ERA Benin City disappeared with her baby, who was already coughing when her test results came out positive. The state governor, Godwin Obaseki, who made the declaration on Thursday during a press briefing, asked members of the public with information on her whereabouts to volunteer.
We are looking for one Amaka Okoro, who lives at number 2 Atoi Idubo Street off 2nd Ugbo. She has disappeared since yesterday and disappeared with a baby. She's infected, and we believe that baby may also have been infected. We want to get them, I want to bring them to treatment as quickly as possible. So please, I'm imploring all citizens to help us, give us useful information as to her whereabouts and the whereabouts of that child so that we can save their lives.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has extended the dusk to dawn curfew to 14 days to curtail the spread of coronavirus disease. Governor Godwin Obaseki, who announced the extension, says the curfew will now begin from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. instead of the previous 7 p.m. commencement hour. Governor Obaseki was speaking during a press briefing at Government House, Benin City on Thursday.
I am extending the curfew in Edo State for another 14 days. This time it will be from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Because the extension of this curfew will certainly lead to more economic hardship for our people, we have decided to commence another round of distribution of materials to our most vulnerable citizens. With the lessons which we have learned from the first round of distributions, measures have now been put in place to make sure that only the targeted persons receive these palliatives.
The governor has also approved hazard allowance of up to 9 naira monthly for frontline health workers in addition to the earlier insurance cover provided for them. Advise members of the public to make themselves available for screening at various centers in the state to avoid the agony associated with late testing.
It is noteworthy that late testing was a strong contributory factor leading to these fatalities. That is why I'm advising everyone to come out and get screened at the numerous screening centers across the state so that you can save your family and friends the agony and pain caused by the loss of a loved one. Our screening centers also offer free medical checkup, free multivitamins, and face masks when you go and get screened. I am confident, very confident, that we can beat this virus in Edo State if we take the necessary precautionary measures.
He also commended the chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State for offering to join the state's COVID-19 response committee. Over 20,000 people have been screened, out of which more than 200 samples have been taken for persons of interest. Over 37 of them tested positive, 3 have died, while 8 have been discharged. Elsewhere, as part of his contributions to cushion the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, the Oba of Benin, Omonoba Nedo Ukwa, His Royal Majesty Obaiwa II, has donated some relief items to journalists in Edo State. The relief items, which comprise food and medical materials, were donated through Obaiwa II Foundation to the leadership of the State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists on Thursday. KUFM's Blessing Asekome has more. Are in Delta, 2 are in Nasarawa, Ondo and Kebbi have 1 case each. The 1,932 cases were confirmed at 11:50 p.m. yesterday in Nigeria by NCDC. Thursday's new cases are the highest reported in a day since the NCDC started compiling the pandemic data in February. The number of deaths from the virus also rose to 58, while 319 have now recovered. Across the world, the novel coronavirus has killed 230,309 people since the outbreak first emerged in China in December. These were registered in 195
your mouth or nose when you dey cough or sneeze. This na time to always wash your hand. Use hand sanitizer wey contain better alcohol. This na time to give ears, as in avoid me, give me space to any person wey dey cough or sneeze. This na time to protect yourself or neighbors from sickness. So if you notice anything, sharp carry yourself or the person go hospital or call this number free of charge. You're not going to collect money for your hand. That is toll-free number for 080 00 26 7662. 080 00 26 7662. You first bring this other number for 080 09 70 00010. Remember, say life now says coronavirus not the show for face, so the first way they life and carry first to this message from KUFM 92.7.
Beautiful one, we call on you today. Come feel this place today. Let your presence dwell amongst us.
Welcome back. You're still on the news done, and the news continues. The Economic Sustainability Committee, chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Thursday, met with members of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council over a sustainability plan by the committee. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, had on April the 2nd inaugurated the committee with the aim of tackling the economic challenges and fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laulu Akonde, in a series of tweets, stated that the committee would submit its report to the President. The Vice President's spokesman added that members of the Economic Sustainability Committee and several ministers were also part of the video conference anchored from the presidential villa. The federal government has ordered civil servants from level 14 and above to resume their duties effective Monday, 4th of May. In a communique on Thursday evening, the head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemiesa, stressed that the resumption order includes those on essential services across the country. According to the statement, all those mandated to resume on Monday will be allowed to work 3 times a week, and closing time will be 2 p.m. The head of service further directed that those who are resuming must adhere strictly to the observance of social distancing, use of face masks, hand sanitizers, and good general hygiene, adding, all federal secretariats have been decontaminated and efforts were ongoing to do same in other public offices. More than 1,000 graduate trainees recently recruited by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, are to assume duty Monday, 4th May 2020. A release by the corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, stated on Thursday. The trainees are to assume duty first virtually, while the corporation monitors the COVID-19 situation and the federal government's directives to determine a date of physical assumption of duty. The release said the option of virtual assumption of duty was necessitated by the need to comply with extant protocol on social distancing and reduce number of people in workplace, among other measures that have been introduced by government as a result of the pandemic. The NNPC spokesman said the trainees had completed online documentation and will commence virtual onboarding on Monday. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will meet on Thursday, 7th of March, to review the situation in its offices nationwide. The Commission will also, at the meeting, adopt a clear roadmap and guidelines for resumption of activities. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja on Thursday. Okoye said that the Commission would also deliberate on a number of issues. He said preparations for the conduct of Edo and Ondo governorship elections, the upcoming by-elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Plateau State, and plans for resumption of normal activities will be considered. Okoye said the Commission noted the advisory and protocols outlined by the Presidential Task Force on combating COVID-19 and the gradual easing of lockdown from May 4th. Okoye, however, advised all stakeholders to wait for further communication from the Commission on resumption of normal activities. He said that the Commission understood and appreciated the need for timely resumption of activities in view of the governorship elections in Edo and Ondo State and the by-elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Plateau States. Many people have been feared dead when a story building under construction along Musaya Adua Drive in the Owerri Municipal Council area of Imo State collapsed. Eyewitnesses said some occupants were also trapped in the building, which collapsed at about 4 p.m. on Thursday. Firefighters and passers-by had a hectic time trying to rescue some of the occupants. The police public relations officer Orlando Ikoku told reporters that some occupants were trapped in the building. He said the building is still under construction, or was still under construction when it collapsed. as at the time of filing the reports, efforts were still on to rescue some people who were trapped in the building. Coming up in a moment, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission develops framework to address TCN and DISCO's conflict. Stay with us, please. You are still on to News Dawn on 92.7 KUFM Identity. And on business news this morning, Chairman of Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, James Momo, says the commission has developed a framework to resolve the crisis between officials of the NERC and the TCN. Goslow Orlando has details and more on our business news.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecast, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
Good morning. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission has developed a framework to address repeated operational conflicts between power distributors and the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Chairman of the Commission, James Momo, told reporters that the framework was developed when officials of the NERC, TCN, and Abuja Electricity Distribution Company met in Abuja on Thursday. Momo also stated that the conflict between the AEDC and the TCN was resolved by the Commission. The TCN and the AEDC were recently engaged in a blame game over operational and power management issues affecting the networks of both companies. Asked whether the Commission would engage other discos that had been involved in disagreements with the TCN, Momo replied, "Yes, we are going to do that too." Explaining how the Commission intervened in the disagreement between the TCN and AEDC, the NEC boss stated that all parties were made to understand each other's challenges. Nigeria's currency on Thursday strengthened against the dollar across foreign exchange markets after the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, resumed dollar sales for school fees and small and medium enterprises, SMEs, on Wednesday. Naira gained 10 naira as $1 was trading at 450 naira on Thursday, as against 460 naira traded on Wednesday at the black market. According to reports, liquidity is improving, but demand for dollar is low. At the retail bureau, Naira appreciated by 2 naira per dollar, which was trading at 465 naira on Thursday from 467 naira quoted on the previous day. And finally, on business, the Nigeria Stock Exchange NSE market capitalization on Thursday closed the last day of April with 80 billion naira gain following sustained demand for blue chips. The market capitalization, which opened at 11.917 trillion naira, inched higher by 80 billion naira or 0.67% to close the month at 11.997 trillion naira. Also, the all-share index increased by 152.61 points, representing a growth of 0.67% to close at 23,021,000.01 against the 22,868.40 achieved on Wednesday. The upturn was impacted by gains recorded in large and medium capitalized stocks, amongst which are MTN Nigeria, Adopa Lafarge Africa, Access Bank, and international breweries. Market breadth remained positive with 21 gainers against 13 losers. Adova led the gainers stable in percentage terms, growing by 10% to close at 11 naira 55 kobo per share. University Press followed with a gain of 9.28% to close at 1 naira and 6 kobo, while livestock feeds appreciated by 7.69% to close at 17 kobo per share. And in sports, PSG crowned champions after League One finished early. Ego Saigweka has more on our sports desk this morning.
And now to sports news. Good morning. French League One leaders Paris Saint-Germain have been awarded the title after it was announced the season would not resume because of the coronavirus pandemic. The Parisians were 12 points clear at the top of the table with a game in hand when French football was suspended indefinitely on 13th March. PSG have been given the title on a points per game basis, while Lorient have been crowned League 2 champions on the same principle. They were just 1 point above Lens when the season was suspended, and both teams will be promoted, while Amiens and Toulouse will be relegated from Ligue 1. Earlier this week, the French government cancelled the 2019-2020 sporting season after the government announced that sports will not resume until September. The club said they wished to dedicate the title to healthcare staff and all the everyday heroes on the front line. Meanwhile, Lyon, who were fifth a week before the last match day but finished seventh, said they might appeal against the verdict. Former England manager Sven-Göran Eriksson says he turned down the job to coach the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa after he was told by an official of the Nigerian Football Federation that his salary would be paid into two different bank accounts. The 73-year-old was among the coaches suspected for the Eagles job after late Shaibu Amodu was relieved of his job despite a third place finish at the 2010 African Cup of Nations in Angola and qualifying the squad for the Mundial. Eriksson, who made the definition in an interview with Branchen SE, said the federation was willing to give him the job on the condition that the salary would be divided. And finally, Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero says players are scared about the prospect of returning to action following the coronavirus pandemic. The Premier League is hoping to resume the season on 8th June, which will require players to be back in full training by 18th May. If training is resumed before social distancing rules are relaxed, players will be tested for coronavirus twice a week and will be screened for symptoms every day. All tests will be carried out by health professionals at a drive-through NHS testing facility that each club will have access to. The Premier League has been suspended since 13th March because of coronavirus, but all clubs remain committed to playing this season's 92 remaining fixtures. Top flight clubs will meet on Friday to discuss options for the restart. All games are expected to be held behind closed doors, and the league is considering making some available on free-to-air TV. And that's sports news on KUFM's News Dawn. My name is Egusa Haigbekan. Back to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Egusa, for those sports stories. And with those stories, we come to the end of our package this morning. But before we leave, here's a quick recap of the headlines. In this bulletin, we told you that the Edo State government has declared a fleeing COVID-19 positive nursing mother wanted. We also told you that Nigeria has recorded 204 new cases of COVID-19 in one day, and the total number of infections are now 1,932. And finally, we told you that INEC is going to meet on the 7th day of May to adopt guidelines for resumption. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Meanwhile, coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Stay indoors. Stay safe. KUFM News Dawn was produced by Nosahai Wadiai. And I'm Charles Opperum saying thanks for listening and good morning.
Hope you had a good night rest and happy new month to you. It's the first day in the month of May and we are, okay, that's going to be a question for somebody. So, Quickly before I start off the show, my name is Orlando and this is 92.7 KUFM. And before we listen to today's story, I always get to play something for you. That's information for the teachers. So here you go. I'll be right back just after the break.
I'm a teacher. I'm a real good teacher.
Nigerian teachers have been negatively affected by the necessary lockdown imposed by the government to curb the coronavirus pandemic. The Okonofua Foundation will give the sum of 2 million naira monthly to be shared by 200 teachers in Edo State to mitigate the economic hardships of COVID-19. 200 different teachers will be selected every month and each will get the sum of 10,000 naira until the lockdown is lifted. We will also provide special packages for teachers who are able to innovate and teach online. Teachers of public and private secondary schools across the 18 local government areas of Edo State should please go to our website www.okonofuafoundation.org to register. Click on COVID-19 lockdown teacher support and log in your full name and account number, the name of the school and the local government area it is located, and indicate whether it is a private or public school. All entries will be cross-checked with the Ministry of Education, so only registered teachers should apply. Okonofua Foundation, bridging the gap.
I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm a real good teacher. I run my class like I know I should.
And the stork. One day,
Besides COVID,
Definitely, that's apt. There's no caps about it.
the speed of data is slow now.
It's very, very slow.
Okay, one of the side effects of staying at home.
Yeah, because so many people will now be on the network
at the same time. Besides COVID-19, our drug stopped Ebola, dengue fever, says Maurice Iwu. This one says COVID-19 forces NLC TUC to go online with May Day celebrations. COVID-19 may lead to millions of unplanned pregnancies, says UNFPA. Very funny. Akwa Ibom records new COVID-19 death, 3 more cases. Cross River States to use 4.5 billion naira council funds for airport project. Faimi appoints Adeoye COVID-19 response ambassador for Ekiti. Adeoye is the man who prevented his son from coming into his house after the son returned from Ekiti State. Okay, and he said, no, you can't come into my house. You have to go to the NCDC to be quarantined first. Okagbare gives conditions for new marriage. The Tigers team captain Diogo eyes retirement. Cristiano Ronaldo has 3 or 4 tricks. World Cup 2022 ambassador tests positive for virus. Okay, realistic review of 2020 budgets. Interesting. Muslims urged to pray against pandemic, comply with government directives. All right, and this one says Still on the Guardian newspaper this morning, quarantine made me realize I don't know Will Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith says of husband of 23 years.
Wow.
Wow. Interesting how you don't know somebody you've been married to for 23 years. Maybe because the person is not always at home. That's the problem. Okay. And this one says COVID-19, INEC meets May 7th to adopt guidelines for resumption. APC, PDP clash over COVID-19 palliatives in Plateau State. NDDC, why President Buhari must act now. Priority for Nigerian workers' rights. Healthcare system in the eye of the storm. All right, that's it from The Guardian. And from there we cross over to the Premium Times. Malibu scandal. Shell, Eni seek, or NI rather, seek to stop Nigeria in $1 billion UK lawsuit. Nigeria records over 200 coronavirus cases in a day for the first time. That happened yesterday. As COVID-19 cases increase, Nigeria laments inadequate bed spaces, considers home treatment. Coronavirus, 113 Nigerian health workers test positive. Minister. Okay, this one says Buhari extends tenure of NDDC interim management. Okay, Showore appeals bill conditions restricting his movement. May Day, there will be no job losses arising from COVID-19. Federal government. INEC meets on Edo Ondo governorship polls May 7th. And this one says Nigerian government expresses willingness to assist ailing media industry. Please, it's needed. Coronavirus, group demands details of donations from CBN. Over 1,000 newly recruited NNPC graduate trainees to assume duties remotely. Official. 3,256 benefits from CBN 50 billion naira COVID-19 credit facility. PTF National Coordinator on COVID-19 loses father. Coronavirus, Nigerian government launches virtual learning academy. Okay. Oshun Zamfara disagree over arrest of illegal miners. COVID-19, federal government building labs in Lagos, Ogun, Kanu, not in Rivers. Wike. Okay. Here some Wike seems to be on the perpetual path of, shall I say, belligerency with the federal government. Why? COVID-19, Ekiti workers to resist pay cut. University lecturer, admin officer arraigned over Facebook posts against vice chancellor. Okay, and this one says family of 5 found dead in Enugu community. Oh, that happened the day before yesterday, on Wednesday. Implementation of Kwara's 2020 budget no longer feasible. Finance Commissioner. Lockdown. Okonjo Iweala. Husband donate bags of rice to Abia community. Lockdown. Police arrest 594. Secure conviction of 504 in Niger. Coronavirus. Murik blasts governor for one-sided advisory to Christians. COVID-19. Nasarawa Council intercept returns 9 travelers to Kanu. COVID-19 Yobes Index case has no history of travel to high-risk states. Official. ABU gets new VC. Coronavirus have authorized use of chloroquine for treatment of COVID-19. Bauchi Governor. Jigawa records first death COVID-19. Okay. And ongoing autopsies will explain increased deaths in Kanu presidency. And that's it. Premium Times newspaper this morning.
All right, let's move over to the Punch newspaper this morning. The first headline here says, John Biden launches VP search committee, how to pull Nigeria from the brink. And moving on, straight talking doctors and World Health Organization are what we need. Electrocuted man, not our employee, says BDC. Infected health workers rise from 40 to 113 in 1 week. Updated, Kanu records 118 COVID-19 cases in 2 days. El Zakzaki's wife asks courts to quash charges against them. 425 Castina inmates regain freedom. Atiku faults more foreign loans and large presidential fleets. Abuja cemeteries post no threat to people, says FCT. Yobe confirms COVID-19 index case. COVID-19, 12 health workers among positive cases in Sokoto. INEC to review resumption pending polls next week. Before reopening the economy, that's an editorial. INEC asks tribunals to dismiss Melaye's petition. Federal government uploads e-learning and education rooms across states. COVID-19, Nigerian science at the margins. 50 billion naira COVID-19 funds. CBN begins disbursement. 3,256 on list. Industrialists supporting us against COVID-19, says Edo Freight forwarders shut at Papa Port over demurrage waivers. Screen vehicles conveying agric produce thoroughly. Okay, screen vehicles conveying agric produce thoroughly, says federal government. Screen vehicles carrying agric produce thoroughly, says federal government. States using COVID-19 to make money, nothing elders allege. NEC develops framework to address TCN and DISCO's conflicts. National Assembly, Atiku orders hail Nigerians on Atiku and others hail Nigerians on Workers' Day. $3.4 billion support IMF to conduct due diligence on CBN. We will focus on macroeconomic stability after COVID-19, says federal government. COVID-19 infected health workers rise from 40 to 113 in 1 week. IMF approves emergency loans for Mali and Ethiopia. Says Nigeria's oil gas exports to fall by $26.5 billion. Staff wage cuts in aviation regrettable, says federal government. COVID-19 UK universities cut staff salaries. CBN extends microfinance banks recapitalization deadline. Nigerians and China disagree over Gangazal accommodation for 207 eviction. 1,000 NNPC graduate trainees begin work on Monday. Stock market gains 80 billion naira to end April positive. COVID-19, Italy to open 2 airports next week. Channel COVID funds to critical needs, says LCCI. Manufacturers Union seek workers employer cooperation. Protect workers from COVID-19. Job loss, says TUC, tells government. Northern states banned Al-Majiri system. Boko Haram, Buhari, Yobe governor meets. President urges community support. COVID-19, Kanu Al-Majiri returnees test positive in Kaduna. Sanwo-Olu blames late airport and border closure for COVID-19 spread. Wike alleges sabotage on land, air, and sea. Medical director, 2 others test positive for COVID-19. Oshibajo panel meets Buhari's Economic Advisory Council. Edo extends curfew by 14 days, declares patient wanted. Ekiti father who turned back son becomes COVID-19 envoy. COVID-19, Lagos issues guidelines for transport operation. Zamfara declares coronavirus patient wanted. Abia not behind lawyer's arrest, says state tells NBA. Buses conveying Zamfara and Kaduna miners incepted in Oshun. Ekiti arrests 3 pastors for noise pollution. Policemen, soldiers clash over Delta lockdown enforcement. Kanu plans publishing pictures of fleeing COVID-19 patients. Nigerians allege eviction as China claims accommodation for 207. 58 dead as Nigeria's COVID-19 cases rise to 1,932. Oshun extends lockdown by 3 days. Aviation workforce reduction wage cut regrettable, says federal government. 1 dead, 5 missing as NATO helicopter crashes. No COVID-19 outbreak in prisons at Rigbeshola. 1 dies, many trapped in 8-story Imos building collapse. Family friends mourn businesswoman who died of delayed surgery. Controversy surrounds video vixen's electrocution in Lagos. That's a picture Kodak. All right, and moving on, Bollywood mourns another actor, Rishi Kapoor. And finally, let's take it from the sports side of the headlines. First English football VAR goal thrills Ihanacho. All right, there you have it on the Punch newspaper this morning. And away from Punch, let's check out Vanguard newspaper. And this one says, Lagos government issues fresh guidelines for public transport operations. COVID-19, federal government on top of situation in Kanu, says PTF. COVID-19, stallion begins rice and fish distribution in Abuja hospital. COVID-19, transporters ask federal government to set up 20 billion naira intervention fund for sectors. COVID-19, Kanu overtakes FCT with total confirmed cases recorded 80 in 24 hours. Health advocate thumbs up tricycle owners on regulation. May Day, don't worsen matters with post-COVID-19 sacks. Nupeng tells employers. NCDC not aware of control of infectious disease bill. It generated a lot of controversy yesterday. And still moving on, dead coronavirus particles may cause recovered patients to test positive. Okay. Buhari extends tenure of NDDC Interim Management Committee. Taiwan's intelligence chief says North Korea Kim Jong-un is sick. COVID-19, Rep maintains stand on 2-month free electricity to Nigerians, spokesman. AFDB approves 12.33 for Abidjan to Lagos Highway. All right, that's foreign news. May Day under lockdown. We are ready for genuine reconciliation. Kashamu. May Day, federal government assures workers of job security. COVID-19, Lagos issues fresh guidelines for public transport operations. Twitter records loss despite user surge in pandemic. Legendary drummer and Afrobeat co-founder Tony Allen dies. He actually, created the Afrobeat alongside with Fela. All right, moving on. Bollywood mourns another star as Rishi Kapoor dies at 67. Eminem confronts intruder in his living room. All right, then moving on. 68-year-old woman dies of COVID-19 in Akwa Ibom, and finally, 25-year-old dies of COVID-19 in Lagos. So there you have it on Punch newspaper and Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, from these papers, okay, we will be crossing over to the Daily Trust newspaper to find out what the Daily Trust has for us this morning. And the first headline from the Daily Trust newspaper is Kano records 18 new coronavirus cases as Nigeria's total reaches 1,932. COVID-19, fear of transmission heightens as governors repatriate Alamajiri across states. That's how they wrote it. I'm guessing Alamajiri and Alamajiri may be singular and plural. I don't know. But, so. Ease lockdown, not permission for carelessness, federal government warns. Federal government orders civil servants to resume Monday. 113 Nigerian doctors test positive to coronavirus. Okay. Well, this one says COVID-19 fear of transmission heightens as governors repatriate. Okay, I've taken that headline before. Okay, I've taken this headline as well. COVID-19 federal government to give financial aid to media industry. All right, CBN extends MFB's recapitalization deadline to 2021-2022. This one says Kanu loses 3 high-profile personalities again. What is going on there? Fate of Bonu PDP factions hang on Supreme Court ruling. China reacts to planned $200 billion coronavirus suits by Nigerian lawyers. Okay, country is getting a lot of lawsuits from across the world. 3 dead, many trapped as 8-story building collapses in Owerri. Just think that I actually know this building. Moving on. PRP asks federal government to ensure safety, well-being of workers. Buhari meets Yobe governor, orders armed forces to sustain counter-insurgency operations. And in sports, badminton star Jinkam explains switch from singles to doubles event. Ibadan Golf Club open to corporate membership. Captain Djokovic finds it tough to adjust to uncertainty. On the business side, CBN extends MFB's recapitalization deadline to 2021-2022. Governor Suli advises AEDC on how to curb vandalism. Shell cuts dividend to investors first time in 80 years. That shows you the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Man 28 rapes, strangles teenager. 3 pastors arrested in Ekiti for public disturbance. FIME appoints retired FRSC official, COVID-19 ambassador for rejecting son who breached lockdown. Okay. COVID-19. This is an exclusive column. This is from the exclusive column, an editorial. COVID-19, the wicked state, Kanu, and the age of citizen action. Days without names, and now, where was I? So 3 interesting headlines. 5G and the NAS vaccination conspiracy theory. COVID-19, employers and workers in Nigeria. Governors ban on Alamajiri, cheap, quick, but unbalanced action. And on the international side, Biden fields committee to help pick running mates. China says it has no interest in meddling in U.S. election. Coronavirus cases in Russia surge past 100,000. Benue sends 58 traffic youths back to Bauchi and Katsina. And police arrest 17 suspected cultists for murder in Akwa Ibom. Okay, 2020 Workers' Day in tears. There's an editorial there. Trump, WHO, and COVID-19. Okay, so that's it from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. From there, we cross over to This Day. What does This Day newspaper have for us this morning? Again, on This Day newspaper, COVID-19 with rising cases, federal government considers home treatment of patients. Okay, this one says again, Buhari tells military to end Boko Haram's menace. UN warns federal government against diversion of $308 million Abacha loot. Chike Obi, Nigeria needs $20 billion to avert economic crisis. Okay, federal government asks level 14 officers to resume Monday. FIRS gives deadline on tax interest penalties waiver. Dan Kaka's nomination refreshes storm over abuse of federal character principle. INEC to meet over Edo Ondo Gubar elections on May 7th. Okay. This one says Union Bank posts double-digit growth in Q1 earnings, profit before tax. Okay. This one says National Assembly awaits 2020 budget amendment bill. Wike decries federal government's neglect of rivers in fight against pandemic. All right. Still on This Day newspaper this morning. Lockdown relaxation and lessons from Spanish flu. Okay. Lockdown relaxation and lessons from Spanish flu. Moving on the sports side, CAF's May 5 deadline leaves Nigerian officials with 4 options. Pan Nigeria receives Argungu Motor Race 2020 trophy. Athletes get COVID-19 relief payments. Osimhen's Lille miss out of UEFA Champions League. PSG retain title. Raw accepts pay cuts to retain Eagles' job. Uzoho blasts critics of his age as he's almost fit to return from injury. Okay, and that's it from the sports side of the headline. And on the back page of This Day newspaper, let's check out a few more, editorials here. Solidarity is the word of the moment. The verbal autopsies from Kanu. And this one says COVID-19 and the virtual May Day. And finally, anatomy of foolish spending. That's it from This Day newspaper. Okay, our text message lines are, or the SMS line rather, is 0807 400 9076. 0807 400 9076. Okay, do well to send your SMS to that number. We'll take it much later on as the show progresses. Right now, this is where we'll end this morning's edition of the newspaper headline review. My name is Charles Obolum.
My name is Godslove Orlando. Good morning.
With a touch of magic. My fellow sports magicians are in the building. Sanufe Francis, the sports Berlusconi, and Egosa Igbeka, the sports maestro. Guys, let's begin at home and let's talk about the Nigerian Athletes Relief Fund. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, he has directed that funds should be paid directly into the account of Nigerian players to provide some relief in the face of the coronavirus pandemic. The payment started on Wednesday. It is part of the 10 million naira that was donated by Remo Stars chairman Kunle Soname and 1 million naira donated by a patriotic Nigerian who says he does not want to be named. These are part of the takeoff of the Athletes Relief Fund that was set up by the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development. So the sum of 50,000 naira is being paid directly into the accounts of each of the athletes from the Central Bank of Nigeria account of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. So they are paying this to athletes who have not been able to get any money following the pandemic, the outbreak of the pandemic in Nigeria and the subsequent cancellation of all sporting activities. So they are looking at the most vulnerable athletes, but the target is to reach everybody. So this is what has been going on. While we know that World Athletics, that is the body that governs athletics in the whole world, 2 days ago, they copied from the Nigerian example by floating a $500 million appeal trust fund to assist athletes in the wake of the suspension of major sporting events around the world.
Well, fantastic news we're hearing this morning concerning the athletes, because it hasn't been easy with these athletes since the pandemic, started ravaging the world. And right now, without running or taking part in events, you hardly get money. So for those that we adopted, kudos to them, because theirs is a different ballgame. For those that are home, not all athletes are at the same level. Some are richer than some. So when you are saying the vulnerable athletes, the ones that needed the money most, I think if he's able to go around, I think it will be better for you to go around. But you can give maybe 100,000 to those that are any lower than those that are any higher, so that people will not say.
They're doing 60,000.
Yeah, so just make an example, so that some will not say, okay, because I'm a bigger athlete, they are not giving me lesser money than those that are younger athletes. For me, I think it's good. 50,000 will go a long way, increasing the efforts at this very moment. It does not be easy. If others can also come and assist them, I don't think 50,000 will be enough for them, but it will also go a long way, because these guys, they are also people that are spending money when it comes to assisting family members, also taking care of themselves. So it's not going to be easy, but I think this is a very, very welcome development, and I hope that corporate organizations can also assist these athletes, so that by the time they return, they will be fit enough, they'll be confident enough, they'll be bold and courageous enough to go back to the tracks, and they fit as well to do their work and also give their best. So we are in trying times, and we need more of this help. So kudos to Kule Soname for doing that, and for the central bank to have giving that money straight into the account. I think is very good, because sometimes if you pay the money into somebody's account and it's okay, disburse this money to this outlet, sometimes you hear that money develop points and fly off. Sometimes some people athletes will tell you, I've not gotten my quarrels here and there. So for me, the best thing is to get their BVN, then accredit the money from central bank, so that they will all receive their money.
It is the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development account in the central bank. So they were the ones that instructed the central bank to pay the money directly from that account
to their account. So private account. That's really good. I think I have to commend Solidarity for doing this, and I just hope that others will also follow suit and do the same, so that the athletes, though they are home right now, will have something to fall back on.
Fantastic gesture from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. I hope it will be sustained and continue to care for athletes, whether it's a time of a pandemic or not. We should always try to care for them, to ensure that their welfare is paramount in all things that we are doing. But this is, for me, applaudable, and I want to say thank you to the Minister for having this initiative, and the understanding that some are bigger than some, while some are just depending on the stipends you give to them when activities are really in there, and they compete, give their best, they get paid. Why, when all these activities are not really in there, they don't really get paid, unlike those that get endorsement left, right, center, and all that. So I think it should be sustained. It should go around, and the way they are doing it, it's not going to go from one hand to another. You get through the Ministry Finance, then straight order given to the central bank, and you get a lot. Nobody's going to come and say, line up, write your name, write your account number, or take a number and start sharing it for you. But this time, you get it straight into your account. Fantastic. I hope. Yes.
But this is because the athletes have got registered accounts with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So the Ministry of Youth and Sports will submit the names and account number to the central bank and say, okay, from our accounts that you have, which of course these people pay the money directly into, they will now be disbursing the money. So you can see that even athletes, sportsmen and women, they need this palliative. So that's why we keep appealing that if you have, you can reach out to us to give to the vulnerable people in the society. Well, let's hope with what they are saying, gradual return to opening up the economy. Let's hope things will work out well. But yesterday we had record number of daily infections in Nigeria. So you will begin to wonder that May 4th lifting of these restrictions, is it advisable, with what is going on? All right, but let's go to that now and talk about this partial lifting of restrictions from Monday the 4th of May. Amadou Pinnick, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, he says he's been getting calls and messages from people who have been asking him, well, the president has announced that from the 4th of May, they will lift restrictions in Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun State. So does this mean now that football is going to resume immediately after some of these restrictions are partially lifted. But he explained that they will have to meet with the government, and then they will consult with FIFA before they will decide on what to do.
And the truth is, explain further what the president said on that day. Level 12 upward can actually resume work and start working, while the junior staff will stay at home. Kind of. The lockdown is still very much in place. I don't think football should resume. I think the right now in Nigeria, if we are worried that even the so-called developed world, that if they resume football, there's no way they can contain their fans from gathering in one particular viewing center to watch games, and then the continue to spread the virus. I think same go for Nigeria. It's going to be difficult for you to play games, without the fans gathering, so to speak, even outside the stadium to watch games. And there are some states that you cannot get into right now, whether football or wherever. For instance, you cannot travel to Delta State because they are under partial lockdown, so to speak. They can go about their business within the four walls of the state, but they don't go out, they can't come in. And same thing goes for Edo State these days. You are in Edo State, you can travel from here to Awonchi, you can travel down to Ekoma, come back to Benin City, but you cannot go out of Edo State except essential duty workers, journalists, those that are transporting fuel, food, and all that stuff.
Did they shut the borders?
Yeah, but before you get into Edo State, before you get to Edo State these days, you have to park. Before you get inside, you have to park somewhere. You come down from your vehicle, you get tested.
Because I heard that because Edo State shares borders with many states, and it is like a gateway to many states, so it's not going to be a total shutdown.
Yeah, but the truth is, if you are going outside of Edo State or Ondo State, they are not going to allow you. If you are going outside of Edo State to Delta State, obviously, before you get to another state, they are not going to allow you. So it's kind of
particularly effective because we still hear of people coming into different states, states that did not have the coronavirus situation before. You now have people traveling from one state to the other and becoming the index cases in those states. So it is really important that the states, they look at the
security agencies.
Border.
Yes.
And
that's me taking it further because, this is Nigeria. We have to be very factual here. There are some certain persons that will get to the border and because of who they are. I'm not talking about essential duty workers now. I'm talking about individuals that are supposed to be at home because of who they are and what they can really offer. Sometimes, this corruption is not just about, you say the government is corrupt. You and I, when I say you and I, I'm not talking about those in the state. I'm talking about Nigeria. If we set our minds right, I think we can move our nation forward. Let me just stop it there. So I think that's the reason, like what happened in Anambra, the index case, traveled all the way from Lagos. Why did we on total lockdown? Went through Ogun, went through Ondo. Obviously, Edo State was on partial lockdown, so they can come in. Went through there. You ask a question because you have to go through here, the bypass of Ikubai straight to Agbo to Asaba. Yeah. So how did he get into the Delta State? That he drove past the bridge through Onitsha, then got into Anambra. So those are the questions you need to ask some of the people who are supposed to be protecting us, to ensure this thing. But that has been said. Hopefully that these things will be done the right way. But what I'm trying to say is, with all this lockdown on state, that there's no interstate traveling, so it will be difficult for you to organize games. You cannot have, for instance, a Benin Insurance traveling to play Warri Wolves in Delta State because there is a lockdown. No, for now, no interstate traveling. Stay in your state. So I think football cannot resume, and you cannot congregate everybody. For instance, in Abuja, say let's play all these games in Abuja. You don't have the finance to book the hotels. You don't have enough test kit to test all the players and officials of the different clubs in the Nigerian Professional Football League for the games to go on. I think it is impossible as of this moment for our games to go on, because for the games to seriously go on, all the players, including in the Nigerian National League, will get tested first before games can go on. Then they will have to put plans in place to ensure that all the balls that they will be using on match days will be properly sterilized. I don't think we have that manpower here. Well, now that NSCDC is telling us that they need more testing kits to test Nigerians, then you have them deploying the ones that they don't have, limited ones to football, I think it's difficult for us to resume.
It's good to propose just like Europeans are doing, but I think May 4th is too early. And we can look at May ending, probably June, though they want to complete the season. But starting, getting the nod to start May 4th, I think it's going to be too early because today is the 1st of May. We have 3 days to May 4th. So I think it's good that Amatopinik is proposing, wants to know what is going on so that they know when to restart. Yes.
No, the problem is not even people calling. Who are calling.
Yeah.
And I think it is important for them to understand exactly what the president said. He didn't say that from 4th of May, all the restrictions will be lifted. He said, they are going to look at it gradually. And really, I think with what happened yesterday, with the record number of infections that we had confirmed by the NCDC, the president might have to revisit what he said concerning the.
But I understand it, Brian. But the truth is,
the thing is, even most of the people who were saying end the lockdown, they are beginning to say let the lockdown continue.
But again, there are some major aspect of the economy that have to open. Not some because that's what I said, use the word major. Not because the coronavirus is not out there, but we are not the UK or United States right now. If these businesses they don't open partially, like you have the banking industry, for instance, the government have told them you have to return, I think 9 or 8, thereabout
8 to 2.
Then you go home. But these are staffs that you don't have, you cannot do without. The ones that you can do without, like the one that has to post these things with their laptops right there inside the banks, they will have to work from home. Provide them internet services from their houses, then they work. For instance, the ones you have to hand the money to that they call them tellers. You have to get in there and do this thing. Before you get in there, you have to wear your face mask and all that. They themselves will have to be on their gloves to get the money because it can't be transferred when you touch the money. They have to get the money counted and do it properly. When they're leaving, they remove their clothes. Those ones are what you're saying, check clearing. Remember, for some time, if, for instance, you are banking with Bank A and you take your check to Bank B, different names, and you want this your bank that you're banking with Bank B to help you cash the check that was given to you from a Bank A. Before now, you were not able to clear those checks, but the central bank have lifted that ban that you can take a check given to you from Bank A to your own bank that is Bank B, and they can clear it for you. Those things were slowing down the economy. Maybe for now, those essential duties should be allowed to start partially. Then maybe from there we will take it up. But to open the entire state, even if we are not traveling from one place to another, it's going to be difficult.
And please, for the people who will test positive and they escape, I do not understand why you are running somewhere.
That's ridiculous.
Are you going to get treatment from where?
Yeah. Professionals have told you are positive and the next thing is to escape. I don't get it. I heard the governor talking about a woman who escaped with her because her baby could even be at risk, and God knows how many people she is going to infect. And we've had, this is how the thing became such a big problem in Nigeria, because people who tested positive ran away, and then
why are they running away? I ask myself. You're not feeling fine. Okay, we'll find out you're not feeling fine. Come, let us treat you.
So that you can be treated.
So what's the problem there?
Nobody is even asking you. You have to pay millions before you are admitted at the isolation center. And people will be running away. Please, that woman that escaped with her baby, please go return to the health expert so that you can be taken care of. And please, if you know anybody who has these symptoms, please report so that the officials can come and take the test and know exactly what the problem is. As we have said, it is not a death sentence. It's only really deadly to those that are elderly and those that have underlying medical condition. But even then, we have said, I think the oldest person to survive, to recover from the coronavirus in the world is 100 and there was 103-year-old woman.
Yes, I saw 198 or 99 or so.
I'm telling you, of over
100.
There's even 106-year-old
I've seen 105 in Italy.
Yes.
And okay, maybe we are just talking about things that they don't understand. At least everybody knows Cesc Fabregas. Yeah. His great-grandmother, grandmother rather. Okay, his grandmother is 95. Just recently recovered. At least you can Google that one. Yeah, you can Google that one.
An old woman, immune system could be able to fight.
Yeah, and there are some that even have underlying medical conditions and they still survive the coronavirus. So it's not like once you get to your start, you are running away to where, for God's sake. and you go and infect other people. Please, let's get serious and tackle this. We'll go on our first break on the show this morning.
I'm tired of the poor power situation. Every time I stock the fridge, I come back to spoiled food.
My dear, I am tired too.
I think it's about time we go solar.
Go solar?
With Vertical Solar, we can go solar for as low as 36,000 naira monthly by paying in installments of up to 12 months.
Really?
Vertical Solar range of products can power household devices such as televisions, fridges, air conditioners, microwave, water pumps, electric iron, washing machine, and lots more. With extensive pay in installments plans up to 12 months with 10 years warranty.
Wow! What are the benefits of solar energy?
We are talking uninterrupted power supply, no monthly electricity bill, zero noise and smoke emission, and reduced generator maintenance cost.
Where is Vertical Solar located?
Number 28, Country Home Motel Road, off Ajib Junction, Sapler Road, Benin City. You can call them on 0816-170-1105 or 0703-623-4843. You can also send them an email on info@verticalsolar.com.ng.
Vertical Solar, your lifetime power partners.
Maggie Nigeria, sweet and porridge will make it sense. When you want to cook for family and friends, no be money cause I'm not about taking time or haste. Try Maggie Nigeria pots for that delicious bottom pot taste. Nigeria pots, delicious bottom pots. Maggie Nigeria pots, delicious bottom pots, yeah.
New Maggie Nigeria pot, made from natural smoked fish, stockfish, crayfish.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
My people, make a listen with government for Edo State. One make sure say all of us know how our body day for this coronavirus wahala. Starting from Wednesday, 22nd April 2020, our health workers will start what they call mobile post screening for coronavirus, and now for all the 12 wards for all the local government. I beg, make una cooperate with all health workers. This mobile post screening, now the same one where they do for some health centers. I beg, make all of us try stay for house, and if you can't be say we must enter town, make sure say we wear face mask and make we dey wash our hands with soap and tap water where they flow. I beg, make we no near people. Remember say curfew day for Edo State from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Call these toll-free numbers if we get any issue: 080-0123-5111 and 080-022-00110. This coronavirus, we go get over them. Edo State government bring on this message.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
That no be birthday song. Now the new song where we take the wash hand be that. Make we do our part to stop coronavirus to the spread. Wash your hand kia every time with water where they rush reach 20 seconds. The same time when it go take you to sing happy birthday song 2 times. Use tissue paper cover mouth anytime you want sneeze or cough. Or do them inside your elbow. Give 2 meters space anytime when you and person want talk. They use disinfectants. They clean the areas where your hand they touch well. Get your informate only from government people demo. If you just come back from overseas, make you try tanda for house. Reach 14 days. If you get as body they do you, call NCDC number quick 00-970-000-010. Know what you supposed to do for yourself and people where they around you. Now NCDC they bring on this message and the NMPC IPPG team will be Association of Indigenous Oil and Gas Producing Companies. They pay for them.
Welcome back to Sports Fiesta Live on 90.7 KFM in City. Okay, let's continue with the show now. Francis Uzoho is the goalkeeper of the Super Eagles. He is 21 years old. Yes, you heard me right, whether you choose to believe it or not. Francis Uzoho is 21 years old. But so many people have questioned his age. They feel that he looks older, so he should not be 21. I have never been one to question the age of a player or anybody, so long as you are not their parents and so long as you cannot provide absolutely incontrovertible proof that this player is not this age. I think you should just leave them. But Francis Uzoho, he feels he has to explain, and he had to say, look, I am actually 21 years old, and I was very small back in 2013. He was a member of the Golden Eagle squad that won the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Then Dele Alampaso was the first choice goalkeeper, but he was in that squad. And he said, look, if you see the pictures that I took, I have seen those pictures. he was really very small. I saw him, Taiwa Woni, Kelechi Iheanacho. They were all, I think he even looked younger than those guys at that time. But he explained that it was when he went to the Aspire Academy and he started training. So he said it's training that made him to look this way. But I don't think training will change your face. Yeah, you can change your physical everything. So he said he went to Aspire Academy and then he started training, and then his physiology, everything just changed, and that's how he became really big. But I have seen his pictures from when he was at the Under-17 World Cup, even before the Under-17 World Cup, I think from 2012, because they were come for a long time. Remember that Kelechi Iheanacho, we spoke about him some months back. The same issue about his age, and people complained, and they started posting some pictures, and they claimed that Kelechi Iheanacho took those pictures in 2000 and something, but those pictures were actually from I think 2010, when he was in the under 13 of the Super of the NFF. Yeah. And I recall then when Sani Lulu was president of the Nigeria Football Federation. I remember it was Sani Lulu that launched that under 13, I think in 2009 or so. And I remember going there, I watched the game. So look, those boys, I know I wasn't there when they gave birth to these players, but at least I know many of them from when they were like 10, 11, 12, or some of them even 8, 9. I covered one of their match, and I recall one match that Kelechi Iheanacho's team beat the other team 4-0. I think Kelechi scored a hat-trick, and I remember that match. And I remember interviewing some of the players there and asking them how they felt, and one was even crying. He said he has never been humiliated like this, because his team was beaten 4-0 by Kelechi Iheanacho's team. So when I saw a couple of years later, these guys have become very big. I mean, I know people, I know some little children that grew up before me. Today they are bigger than me. In just about 8 or 9 years, they are already much bigger and taller. And if you do not, somebody who do not know them, if they tell them their age, they will start saying, no, you cannot be this age, you should be older.
Yeah, I understand why people are kind of skeptical about Uzor's age. Like you said, you can grow, but your face doesn't really have to change that much. I, for one, I can give an example of this kind of things. My immediate younger sister, I'm 5 years older than her, but when you see her, you're going to respect her first. Yeah. Before you respect me, I'm kind of the smallest in my house, but 5 good years. I remember when I gave back to her. But today, when she's even talking, when she's shouting, she's got a louder voice, and then myself, and stuff like that. But those things, they do happen. Like you said, you since you are the one that gave birth to these people, it is wrong for you to argue. I think even if we're going to argue, if Francis Zoho, it's more than 21, maybe if I want to agree with you, it should be more than 24. I've watched this guy, no matter how big you are, your attitude, sometimes your character, that juvenile delinquencies will be seen on you, no matter how big you are. Because of your age, you are going to experience that. I've seen him make some, like the game of Seychelles, I was live there when he conceded that goal. A matured goalkeeper would just get over it and continue with his game. But watching him from the media stand, because he was very close to me, he was downcast and he couldn't really get it. I remember so many times William Troost-Ekong would go to him and tell him, snap out of this. Judging on the goalkeeper, when he went down to the tunnels, he was down with his head. Even when we won, Adrian Halu got the equalizing goal from the penalty spot before Henry Wonkuru and the rest got on the score sheet. Moses Simon as well won that game 3-1. After the game, they called us to interview. We were going to interview him. He just left. Like a baby, he ran. As in, he was crying because he knew right there Seychelles shouldn't have scored against him. He didn't call on William Troost-Ekong. He just went, and the young man that you hit and you made a mistake has been telling you to stand out. He couldn't because he's a young lad and he wanted to do more. So I think he's a young guy. The most important thing is he's doing very well for us. He's doing very well in his career. I think we should stop talking about the ages of these people. I don't think Diego Maradona is 59, but that's the age he's posting. I've seen some, for instance, the captain of the under-20 team of Argentina that defeated Nigeria, Paulo Zabaleta, now with Western United.
Yeah.
You look at his age now.
Yeah.
I look at him now. It's confusing. Was he 19 or 20 that year?
How about Ian Robben?
Okay.
We believe that everything the Europeans and the Americans tell us is true, right? Ian Robben has looked like this from when he was at PSV. Not even when he came to Chelsea. He has been bald, and even at that time at PSV, he was 21, 19, 20, 21. He came to Chelsea when he was about 22. Yeah, but he already looked the way he's looking today. That is almost 40. You look at Yam Stam. Even when he came to Manchester United,
was looking like
he
an
was
old man
already
already.
looking old. And I think he was 23 at Manchester United. But looking at him, you say this guy is over 40. Even
All
when
about
Rooney-
Frank Ribery.
Frank Ribery had an accident, so that maybe that's why you will understand the scars on his face and all of that. But look, these guys, man, that's how many.
I think I agree with you.
Diego Costa.
Yeah.
Looks older than the age that he plays. He looks older. But when you see his twin brother and you go back and you see pictures that he took years ago, he has always looked like that. So even when he was much younger, he was the way he is today. So he does look like he's maintained that. I don't know how what happened, the kind of genes he has, but that's how it is with some of these players. Yeah, we know that there have even been documented cases of age cheats. We are not saying people have not cheated about their ages in Nigeria. Like the father of Dele Alampasu, I recall after they won the under-17 World Cup, he came out and said his son was not 17. I think he said his son was 20 then or so. Yeah, the father. So if it is the father that's talking, then you know.
They said same thing about Sazal Demigye. I was gracious enough to have the father of Sazal Demigye, who happens to be a doctor, on my show and said his son is this age. People were saying Sazal Demigye has been on our faces. He played. Remember, he played for the our own darling team here. I watched him. Then he went. The father had to come.
When Rooney played for Everton at 16 plus, when Rooney, he scored that fantastic goal he scored against Arsenal. He wasn't 17 at that time. He was 16 and a couple of months when he scored that goal. So if when Rooney can play in the Premier League and score against a top club in the Premier League, why can't Osaze at 18 or 19 be playing for Bendel Insurance?
There are people arguing this.
Besides, Osaze was not even born here. He was born in Uzbekistan. So what are they talking about?
You know, they argued and argued. The father, I'm the father. I'm the one to tell you how old my son is. You can't tell me how old my son is.
If there are Nigerian footballers that will argue their ages, not Uzo, but probably some of them, but not this era, not
that's
just
from
this year.
From 2013, FIFA insisted on the MRI tests, and
they all went through it.
All of them went through. I even know a woman whose son came from the United States. She brought documents and everything, and she argued against that MRI that knocked out her son. She said her son was, I think, 16 years old at that time, and she had all the evidence. All the records were there. But the guy failed the MRI test because I think they said they placed the thing on the wrist or something. Then it depends. It's not 100% accurate, but at least maybe 90 to 95% accuracy. But because the son failed, they did not allow him to join the under-17 team. But some other guys made it. So all of these guys, so long as they pass the MRI, I don't think we should be bothered too much about it.
Certainly sometimes change your looks. There's a boy, in this area I introduced to a basketball academy 2 years ago. But today, if you look at his, his face, everything is
we all know LeBron James, right? When LeBron James first burst onto the international scene about 10, 12 years ago, then he was about 22, 23. And when I saw LeBron James, this giant of a man, they said he's 22. You know, when I just knew that, look, this guy is actually that thing, the day I saw his mom, you can date the mother. Have you seen the Drogba's mother?
No.
They're young.
Yeah.
So when these players say they are this age, I think we should let their family members talk.
But the LeBron is about 34, 33,
yeah, he's going 34 now.
So he's younger than every one of us here in the studio. But when he's standing here, you should respect him more. Because, you understand? So that I think we should just. When I use the word we, everybody talking about this, Nigerian journalists all over, we should just let it go. The most important thing is that Francis Ozor comes into the national team and is grinding out fantastic performances. Those to me are the most important aspect of it. It's not when he's telling us he's 21 and he's keeping the goal for us like a 59-year-old man. That's when you start thinking the young man is developing, he's doing his best. But up until when he's sustained that injury, he was one of the best goalkeepers that we had in the country.
All right, we'll go on another break, and when we return, we'll go international and look at what Sergio Kun Aguero is saying about football returning in the Premier League.
My people, make una open our ears wide. Because of this coronavirus wahala, government don't say make everybody sit down for house. Coronavirus now bad disease wey don kill many people. But no cause for alarm. Just do wetin government talk. Always wash your hands with soap. Cover your mouth and nose if you want cough and sneeze. No near anybody. Remember, say all markets and shops remain closed except medicine stores and shop for essential things. Government don open food market for primary schools for every corner. You fit waka go there, but government say anybody wey wan comot for house must wear face mask. Remember, say if you see as your cough and sneeze be, or say your body dey hot, or you no fit breathe well, go see doctor or call this toll-free number 0800-123-5111 or 0800-220-0110. On our way just come from abroad. Show yourself to government now, make them help you. My people, shine your eyes and sit down for house. Coronavirus no fit come meet you for your house. Lagos State government bring on this message.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
That no be birthday song o. Na the new song wey we take dey wash hand be that o. Make we do our part to stop coronavirus to dey spread. Wash your hand kia every time with water wey dey rush reach 20 seconds. The same time when e go take you to sing happy birthday song 2 times. Use tissue paper cover mouth anytime you wan sneeze or cough. Or do am inside your elbow. Give 2 meters space anytime when you and person wan talk. Dey use disinfectants dey clean the areas wey your hand dey touch well. Get your informate only from government people dem o. If you just come back from overseas, make you try tanda for house reach 14 days. If e get as body dey do you, call NCDC number quick 00-970-000-010. Know wetin you suppose do for yourself and people wey dey around you. Na NCDC dey bring una this message o, and na NNPC IPPG team wey be Association of Indigenous Oil and Gas Producing Companies dey pay for am.
All right, welcome back. We are going international now, and let's start from the English Premier League. Well, we understand that they are doing their best to ensure that they restart on the 8th of June. They even have a code name for it, Project Restart. But Sergio Kun Aguero, a player of Manchester City and one of the most popular players in the English Premier League, he is saying that the players are scared about the prospect of returning to action because of the coronavirus pandemic. He said majority of the players are scared because they have children and families. Some of them have got elderly parents and they live with them, so they are scared of going back to football, mingling, and then bringing the virus home. And some of them have got very young kids that are susceptible to the coronavirus. He said right now he has been living with his girlfriend for a very long time. He doesn't see anybody because he's scared of infecting his girl. So it's just he and her in their house. But once they start going out, then he will be mingling with other people. So, and he's not alone. Other players are also scared about the prospect of returning.
Yeah, I understand. Last night I got home, I was thinking about it. The Premier League resuming. They are going to have a designated stadium where they're going to play. What about the people that will come in to mold the stadium? Have they been tested? What about the equipment? Have they been sterilized? We've been told that the virus can stay on any surface for close to 5 or 7 hours before it can die and all those things. What if they get to 4? There's no game you play in football that you won't fall, and the virus on the grass. So many instances, the goalpost and all those things. I think these are times where they should relax football and all that. I think the players are scared. You've not really seen the players are willing to end the season. Yeah, the players, all of them, they are willing to end the season. But at the same time, most are scared because of the fact that Sergio Kunaguero just raised. They have to go back. I asked this question yesterday. When you finish playing, you have to go back to your families. And I know that you're going to say for the next 1 month, these people are not going to see their families and they are going to be in one particular place for the next month until they conclude the Premier League. Are you going to ensure then that once they leave that place and before they integrate themselves back into their various families, you are going to test them at least twice? And do you think these players can relate with you and give you their best games when they don't get to see their loved ones? Those are big question marks that they must answer before football can resume. I was just asking why we went on the commercial break. Why don't they just end the league like they've done in some part of the Europe? But the truth is they can't. England is quite complicated. The points, the games left, one can take the FA to court and say, if you allowed me play, I could have been. I think the only team right now that I would say we are destined for relegation is Norwich City. You look at it from 19, 18, 17, 16, they are close. Either one could be relegated. From Everton's position, Arsenal, Tottenham, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sheffield United, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Leicester City, none is guarantee of their position right now. So it's very difficult in England. I don't know how they're going to do it, but the players, they will have to get that extra assurances that they leave their families, they play and go back to their families negative.
Yeah, Sergio Kunaguero is saying that they are scared because when one player is ill, then everybody is ill. That's what makes them very nervous. However, the Premier League, they are saying that before once social distancing, if social distancing rules are not relaxed in the UK, every player will be tested twice a week for coronavirus, and they will be screened for symptoms every day, and that they cannot even eat or be given medical attention right there in the premises. All this will have to be done outside. That if food must be given, it will be takeaway packs, and they will be served to the players in their cars. So this is what the NHS is saying before they can allow training, and that the training pitches and everywhere will be disinfected before the players come in and after they leave. Then these are some of the things that they said. Players must arrive at training grounds in kits, and they will wear masks at all times. They must not, this is number 2 now, they must not shower or eat on the premises. If the clubs want to provide players with food, it must be delivered as a takeaway pack in the players' cars. Then only essential medical treatment will be allowed, with all medical staff in full personal protective equipment. Then, of course, all meetings and reviews must take place virtually and off-site. But Brighton striker Glenn Murray is saying that the proposed protocols to the Premier League's return, such as wearing face masks, are farcical. That it's ridiculous. They should not be doing that. That why would you expect a player to be playing football in a mask that after the players run for a couple of minutes, they are going to rip off the mask? So he says he understands that people are desperate to get back to football, but they should think more about the safety, and that from what they are proposing, there are going to be ambulances at training and also at games. That it is not fair to be taking these vehicles away from the NHS who are battling the coronavirus.
I think he's 100% correct. I feel, and I'll stand with my opinion, that they should just call the season void and probably or end the season, give the title to Liverpool and say we're not relegating anybody for the sake of the championship. You say since there's going to be playoff, you're not going to have that playoff right now. The first 2 teams, West Bromwich Albion and Leeds United, they've qualified to the Premier League. We'll have 22 teams in the Premier League next season. Then from the League One, you just bring in 2 teams to make up the 24 that they already have, or you can leave it that way in the Championship. I think that's the best way. Right now, taking away those ambulances and bringing them to training grounds or match days, I think you are taking something away from the NHS. And plus, see, aside we training together, there are so many things we do together to bond, to ensure that we are a team. If we don't eat together, we've seen pictures of Miguel Obi at Chelsea those days, where after eating they were nodding the ball to each other, and they nodded it to Miguel Obi, and Miguel Obi nodded it into the basket, and they were all happy, like you've scored finally for Chelsea, before you eventually got a registered goal for Chelsea officially, and all those things. So I think those things bring them together as one family. You just imagine this outside, guys. You listening to us right now. You're living with your family at home, your kids, your wife, your mother. You are like 2 meters away, and you guys cannot sit down and brainstorm together. You cannot hold your mother, you can't hold your wife. That's what they are proposing, and you cannot live with that. That bonding will not be there. I think it's going to be difficult. Then they can't eat together, they can't felicitate together that they used to. They have to. Everybody have to be scared of each other. Don't touch me and all those things. I think it won't work. They should just last football.
Anthony Rudiger is a Chelsea player. He agrees with you, but he is saying that Liverpool should be crowned champions. That they've done enough to get the title. So they should end the season, but they should give the title to Liverpool.
That's my second opinion. Just give the title to Liverpool, then look for a way to decide whoever. Like I said yesterday, I think there are 2 teams that will play in the Champions League next season from what we are having right now. That's Liverpool themselves and Manchester City. Then look for a way to decide who gets to join them between Leicester, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Sheffield United. Maybe after this thing is really relaxed, you play in mini tournament, because even the UEFA that you're talking about right now, they are saying that they're going to end the season in August. That's their own season. They are not even sure when they're going to resume the next season. So
but they're giving them a deadline of May 25 to...
No, I'm talking about UEFA Champions League now. You know, they're going to end in August.
Yeah, but UEFA has said the different domestic leagues should give them by the 25th of May. They should tell them when they are going to resume, so that they can plan for how to...
So it is complicated. That's just the truth. It's complicated.
All right, Chelsea have asked their foreign-based players to return to England by Sunday, because they are thinking that the Premier League will resume on the 8th of June. They are going to meet today, virtually of course, and then they will take a decision. So several of their players, including the Brazilian Willian, whose contract will expire at the end of the season, they were allowed to travel to their different countries because of the coronavirus pandemic. The Brazilian Emerson Palmieri, as well as the American Christian Pulisic, we hear that they have also traveled. So they are saying they should return by Sunday in preparation for when the league will resume.
Yeah, it's good that Chelsea, they've asked their players to return, because this time around they are already planning for project restart. So by the time they start, players have to be fit, and you know that unity has to be there. So for me, I think it's good that, but then it also depends on the traveling from one country to the other. I think
there are restrictions in the world. You and I now cannot just travel.
But what's the travel?
To the world?
Travel to the
no, let me
going to go through that 14-day quarantine.
Obviously, that's what they're asking them to return on Sunday.
It's good.
But people can still travel, you know, all over the world. Like I was trying to say, you and I cannot just board a plane and travel to another country now. But for essential duties, like Chelsea's case right now, the players' cases, they are all essential.
Yes, they have to communicate with
Musa just came in and alongside with Ogun.
Via private jet, because
to Nigeria, and they allowed them that passage into Nigeria because these were under special arrangements. And right now, Ogun and Musa, they are self-isolating right now. They are okay. They've taken their sample, but the NSCDC told them to go straight to isolate themselves, and their tests will return and all that. But they tested in Saudi. Remember, both of them are in Saudi Arabia right now, and they tested negative. But for the sake of emphasis, they also got tested when they got to Nigeria. So those are the restrictions are there. You have for William or Pulisic to come in now, they cannot go through the commercial flight. Chelsea will have to send their own private jet, which they all got, and will pick them at designated point and bring them back to the country.
And of course, Chelsea are also making plans just in case they are unable to come in on Sunday. They will see what they can do, but they all have to return because football is about to start. Okay, let's go to tennis now. Andy Murray, well, we can't remember the last time he won anything on the court, but he has won the Madrid Open for a third time. He won this yesterday, but he did it from the comfort of his living room, sitting on his sofa. Yeah, this was a virtual competition. And he's currently ranked 121st in the world. He defeated the Belgian player David Goffin 7-6. That was on the Tennis World Tour video game.
Well, good on for him, though it's not on the court. But then I think it's good that sit at home. There's still something that will make you feel comfortable, still keep you busy and all that. So for him, he's a tennis player. For him to have been able to beat the Belgian, to win the Madrid Open for the third time, I think it's good. But all I want to see is that I want to see him return to the court. Remember the surgery he had, all the issues he had at some point. It was looking as if it was going to be the end of his career. But right now, he's coming back gradually, and we all have been expecting him to come back to the court for competitive games. But the pandemic has now restricted everyone to the house. So let's him keep on doing this from home. Maybe at the end of the day, we will see another different Andy Murray, back to the court.
He got a walkover victory over Diego Schwartzman, who had connection issues. I don't know that Schwartzman was in Argentina when he had to participate in this, but connection issues, so he could not play. Murray in the final versus Goffin, he served twice to stay in the contest, and he was trading 5-4 in the tiebreak before he won the last 3 points to claim it 7-6. And we know that he has not played competitive football since November because of complications arising from this hip operation. He previously won the Madrid on hard courts in 2008 and then on clay 5 years ago. And he got good money for this, 150,000 euros, which is 131,210 pounds. He donated part of it to the NHS, and the remainder will be donated to lower ranked players whose incomes have dried up since the coronavirus outbreak. Kiki Bartens, she was supposed to be defending her WTA title in Madrid next week. She claims the women's version of the E competition. She defeated Fiona Ferro of France in the final after she overcame Karuna Wozniacki in the semi-final. Now let's go to the real tennis on the surface. We hear that in Germany it is going to be returning today. So Germany are beginning to return to sports. This is the first in a series of exhibition events which will take place, but it's going to be without spectators, without line judges, without ball boys, and without handshakes. It is the first competition between ATP players since professional tennis was suspended because of the coronavirus pandemic on the 12th of March. The tennis point exhibition is going to feature 8 players that are outside the world's top 100. Dustin Brown, who beat Rafael Nadal at Wimbledon in 2015, he is in the field along with British number 9 Jan Choinski. Choinski, his father, I think his mother is German. He chose to represent Germany in the 2018. He switched allegiance to Germany. So some of these players will be participating in the competition. But before they will allow them, the temperature of everybody on site will be monitored. But after seeking advice, it was decided that they will not carry out testing for the coronavirus. And all players will receive appearance money and then compete for a prize fund of 3,000 euros in a series of round-robin matches spread over 4 days. Each of them lives within an hour and a half of the tennis club, including Choinski, who has a British mother, and as I said, he switched allegiance to England from Germany in 2018. He's 23-year-old and he says he's not worried about the risk of infection. Okay, there are so many other stories, but we'll leave them for the evening. For now, let us look at your text messages.
This one reads, dear Sportico, great, thanks. And the sports minister, for creating fund to help athletes, and the funds has started disbursing money to the athletes. Great one and good president. Let it reach other sports, Mr. Honorable Minister from Dom Organ. Okay. Hello guys. Talking about how to end the Nigerian Premier League, I think should be thrown under a ladder, a branded sponsor, a league with a TV deal where no matches has been broadcasted, where the winners of the previous FA Cup are yet to be paid. If the league ends now or say as planned, what about the league below, which has been in coma since? Who gets promoted? Larry from Third. Okay, Larry, thank you. All right. Brian, how you see this coronavirus? Now, blessing this guy, so because all the players with injury done, they recover fast. E.g. Hurricane, Rashford. Recover to Kelechi Madu from Depot. This one, Dybala is testing positive up and down to corona. Now, so the virus like him, but the Kelechi Madu. Brian, no. Kelechi Madu, I'm trying to get what you said here, but thank you. Good day, Agosa and Co. If any of these league resumes behind closed doors, what about fans who will be going to viewing centers across the world? Can they keep social distancing when their team scores? Because it's not everybody that has cable TV at their various home. Richie from Silico. Richie, even the viewing centers are closed for now, so don't even think about it. It's illegal for them to be open. Good PM, men sport. I get someone came in yesterday. I want to know if Suarez and Dembele are back from injuries, and congrats to our Ngidi from the only Ogai Brian younger brother from Mengate. Okay, I seriously don't know, but we'll check that for you. Hi guys, I like your boss, but I don't agree with him. You can't declare a winner without clubs going down. Even if the league is cancelled, the fallout will be massive. The EPL may end up in court, being defined as MLS, which is in massive legal battles in same light. Don't forget the championship has sponsors and the playoff has a massive TVD. What happens then? Mike from Ekema. Like I said, it's really kind of...
And that's why we try to explain that the Premier League has rules. If 14 of the clubs decide on something, it will stand. Nobody will go to court. Just wait and see. But they are trying to ensure that they return and conclude the league. But if they are unable to, because of the circumstances, and the Premier League decides on what they want, then it is going to start, except if they do not have 14 clubs supporting one particular resolution.
This one reads, good day, sportsmen. Let's not forget that some players that wore that number 7 jersey at United did not live up to expectation. Arsenal legend from Ramat Park.
What's your business with Manchester United? All right, time for us to blow the final whistle.
We dedicate the title to healthcare staff and all the everyday heroes on the front line. French essential workers' commitment and self-sacrifice over many weeks have earned our deepest admiration. We understand, respect and support the decisions taken by the French government to end the championship. Health, as the government has always said, must be everyone's priority. PSG chairman and CEO Nasser El Khelaifi says the club have dedicated their Ligue 1 title to frontliners after they were crowned champions. And that's the final whistle on the show this morning.
All right, that's our package. We'll see you at 4 p.m. a fresh edition of Sports Fiesta. My name is Sally Ibrahim. I've been doing this with Sanofi Francis and Egosa Igbeka. Bye-bye.
Try
Trying to get or receive information through all corners of the globe requires unprecedented internet service. At Wireless NG, we provide fast, reliable, and affordable unlimited broadband internet service to homes and businesses. Service is currently available across Lagos and Benin. Visit us today at Wireless NG, 5 Ramaya, Ikenede Street off PZ Sapler Road, Benin City, or our marketing office, 70 Olowo Complex, Airport Road, Benin City, or call 0807-887-9960 or 0703-672-9147. Wireless NG, erasing internet boundaries.
My people, make una listen with government for Edo State. One make sure say all of us know how our body day for this coronavirus wahala. Starting from Wednesday, 22nd April 2020, our health workers will start what they call mobile post screening for coronavirus, and now for all the 12 wards for all the local government. I beg, make una cooperate with all health workers. This mobile post screening now the same one where they do for some health centers. I beg, make all of us try stay for house, and if it can't be say we must enter town, make sure say we wear face mask and make we dey wash our hands with soap and tap water when they flow. I beg, make we no near people. Remember say curfew dey for Edo State from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Call these toll-free numbers if we get any issue. 080-0123-5111 and 080-022-00110. This coronavirus, we go get over them. Edo State government bring on this message.
Come see for yourself, oh. This no be the one you go take only ear here, oh. You must take your eyes see so that you self go enjoy what the other people they enjoy. Who you Technica, the generator headquarters where they make everybody enjoy generators of all sizes and models for affordable price. Whether not the small one for barber shop or have been a big Perkins generator for factory and big building. Who you Technica, the place for generators, spare parts, grinding machine, pepper mill, and others. Mention the name and size of generator where you want. Bakam Uyi Technica get them for the kind of money where they your pocket. Bakam Uyi Technica get them. Go and take your eyes see for the generator headquarters. Uyi Technica 7981 and 83 Mission Road, Benin City, and all other Uyi Technical branches. Uyi Technica, affordable products for everybody jollification.
92.7 KUFM. From Benin City to the world.
This is 92.7 KUFM News Update.
Good morning and welcome to KUFM's News Update at 9. I am Godslove Orlando. Nigeria has recorded 204 new cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing the country's total infections to 1,932. According to a tweet by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Thursday, of the new infections, 80 are in Kano, 45 are in Lagos, while 12 are in Gombe, 9 each in Bauchi and Sokoto, Borno and Edo have 7 each. 6 are in Rivers, 6 in Ogun, 4 each in FCT, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa, 3 are in Kaduna, 2 are in Oyo, 2 are in Delta, 2 are in Nasarawa, Ondo and Kebbi have 1 cases each. The 1,932 cases were confirmed at 11:50 p.m. yesterday in Nigeria by NCDC. Across the world, the novel coronavirus has killed 230,309 people since the outbreak first emerged in China in December, according to a tally from official sources compiled by AFP at 1900 GMT on Thursday. More than 3,218,410 cases were registered in 195 countries and territories. Of these cases, at least 922,900 are now considered recovered. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hanire, has revealed that 113 health workers have been infected with COVID-19. Dr. Hanire made the announcement during the Presidential Task Force briefing on Thursday. He said the rapid speed of COVID-19 community transmission is a major concern for the PTF, but a bigger concern is the number of health workers who have now tested positive to the virus while in the line of duty. And here in Edo State, the government has declared one Amaka Okoro wanted for absconding with her baby after testing positive for coronavirus. Amaka, who lives at number 2 Atoyi Dubor Street off 2nd Ugbo GRA Benin City, disappeared with her baby, who is already coughing when her results came out positive. The state governor, Godwin Obaseki, who made the declaration on Thursday during a press briefing, asked members of the public with information on her whereabouts to volunteer. Still in Edo State, the governor, Godwin Obaseki, has extended the dusk-to-dawn curfew to 14 days to curtail the spread of the coronavirus disease. Governor Godwin Obaseki, who announced the extension, says curfew will now begin from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. instead of the previous 7 p.m. commencement hour. Governor Obaseki was speaking during a press briefing at Government House, Benin City on Thursday. The governor has also approved hazard allowance of up to 90,000 naira monthly for frontline health workers, in addition to the earlier insurance cover provided for them. The federal government has ordered civil servants from level 14 and above to resume their duties effective Monday, 4th of May. In a communique on Thursday evening, the head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, stressed that the resumption order includes those on essential services across the country. According to the statement, all those mandated to resume on Monday will be allowed to work 3 times a week, and closing time will be 2 p.m. And elsewhere, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will meet on Thursday, 7th of May, to review the situation in its offices nationwide. The Commission will also, at the meeting, adopt a clear roadmap and guidelines for resumption of activities. INEC National Commissioner Chairman, Information and Voters Education Committee, Festus Okoye, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja on Thursday. And that's KUFM's news update at 9. Please stay with us for more interesting programs and news updates on every hour. Do not forget, you can listen to us anywhere in the world, either by visiting our website at www.kufm.net, or you can download our KU mobile app from the Google Play Store. Remember, we're also live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. Remember, coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Stay indoors, and please stay safe. Coming up next is Dialogue. I am Godslove Orlando saying thanks for listening and good morning. From Monday down till Thursday, which was yesterday. So starting off with Monday we had guests in the building with us. She was here to talk about face mask, how to use face masks, and how to preserve your face mask if you're using the fabric face mask. Of course, that was what she came in with. But for those of us using the surgical mask, remember, it's just once, you have to use it and dispose it. Her name is Obei. She came all the way from Genius Hub to talk about, the production of fabric face masks and how to use the fabric face mask. And moving on Tuesday, we looked at the president's address to the nation, and a couple of positions was made known, and one of them was the gradual easing of the lockdown in Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja, while putting Kano on a 2 weeks total lockdown. Of course, we looked at the implications of these from a medical point of view, where we had the Nigerian Medical Association chairman, Dr. Valentine Omoifo, here in Edo State. He was on the phone with us to talk about it from the medical point of view. And also, we talked about the Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi, who reportedly banned 2 journalists from the state government facilities and functions for publishing stories that didn't depict the state in good light. He also threatens to stop the allowance that he gives NUJ and a whole lot of things he said concerning the NUJ. But this has sparked a lot of controversy about whether or not the NUJ is on the payroll of the government. Well, the good thing is we were able to speak to Mr. Christopher Isiguzo. He is the national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, and he made clear that no NUJ chapter in the country is under the payroll of any state government. He was also able to clear some of the questions that we had for him concerning the issues between the Ebonyi State government and the NUJ in Ebonyi State. And that was it for Monday and Tuesday.
All right, so on Wednesday, apart from the Wednesdays, usually we tend to promote, we have a program, radio drama that talks about or discourages irregular migration and human trafficking. Okay. After that, on that same day, we had gentlemen from the Konofa Foundation telling us what they had packages for teachers in Edo States to help them cushion the effect of the stay at home or the lockdown, and of course what they are doing to promote safety and staying safe, especially among teachers, right? And on Thursday, which was yesterday, we took a look at the fact that the state, Edo State, has more screening centers at the moment than in the past. Okay, we explained to you that it means more people can get screened for COVID-19. All right, and how you should not wait until you start feeling like you're on the verge. So if you feel you may have been exposed and all that, you go to the screening center and they'll screen you, ask you questions, and then determine if you're, if you should be tested or not. Okay. The same day, we spoke with Barrister Dennis Osaratin, who is a member of the NBA Benin Task Force on Human Rights, and the subject of the conversation was a preliminary report on the conduct of some mobile courts in Edo State. Okay, so we had him explain to us the actions of the Nigerian Bar Association, how they visited some mobile courts and what they discovered, their recommendations, and how some of these courts are not exactly up to the level courts should be, and what they have changed or what they have suggested they should change, and all that. So yeah, we had that conversation yesterday with Barrister Dennis Osaratin. It was a robust conversation and one that was very, very insightful. And he did explain and said, if you are, a citizen of Edo State and you feel that your rights are being violated, please do well to reach out to the Nigerian Bar Association. And of course, we have that task force to fight for human rights here in the state during the course of this COVID-19 pandemic. So yes, that is it. Okay, and that is a summary of the conversation during the course of this week. But a quick follow-up. Yesterday the governor did give a briefing. Yesterday we spoke here and the conversation was please,
about the extension of the curfew. Yes. Is there going to be an extension? But luckily he spoke yesterday, and this time around is 1 hour later than the earlier curfew. It's now 8 to 6 a.m. every day for the next 14 days. That's 2 weeks from now.
So seems like the governor has aligned himself with the
president's curfew. Yes,
exactly. And that's that. And yesterday, the Amaka
Okoro's case. Yes,
the Amaka woman. Please, if you have any information, okay.
But I think a picture of this woman should be put out for easy identification.
They may not have a picture.
Yeah, it's true. They may not have a picture. That's the true part of it. The federal government might not have a picture. But if investigation is done, you go to a house, you kind of meet people, try to meet people that stay around her, do your research. Of course, we have research teams. Yeah, you try to make your investigation, get this person's picture. It will be easier to locate this person. It will be very easier. But of course, the close family and friends that would know her.
There's also the threat of maybe stigmatization if you publish someone's picture like that.
She poses a danger to the society right now.
But she's not a criminal yet.
No, she's not a criminal.
That is where the line between human rights and all that comes.
So, on that note, this young woman poses a danger to the society because you don't know how many people she might have come in contact with, and thereby the disease is still spreading. She has a toddler, she has a baby with her, also who is also at risk. She gets to touch family members. She's probably running. She won't run away and go stay in a very enclosed place and just. She would travel around.
We don't know.
She would move around. Sorry, not travel around. She would move around, and obviously she will come in contact with people. So
this is the governor speaking yesterday.
We are looking for one Amaka Okoro who lives at number 2 Atori Idubo Street off 2nd Ugbo. She has disappeared since yesterday and disappeared with a baby. She's infected, and we believe that baby may also have been infected. We want to get them and want to bring them to treatment as quickly as possible. So please, I'm imploring all citizens to help us and give us useful information as to her whereabouts and the whereabouts of that child so that we can save their lives.
So you can hear it there.
Yeah, I had, but I would want to ask a question. Why are these people running away? We had one in Borno. Both of them have been found. We have, I think, in Castina or Kaduna. I think either Castina or Kaduna. I'm not Kaduna now. I'm not so sure. Also on the run. It's a question I want to ask myself. Okay, why are you running away?
The only people who can answer these questions. The only people who can answer these questions are the people who are running
away.
They are the only ones who can answer the questions. Like, okay, fine. Does it have to do with where you were isolated or where you were kept?
She's
if it
not,
has to,
she's not even.
I'm talking about the people who escaped from the quarantine facility. If it has to do with where you were quarantined, then you may want to speak up and say, "Look,
I'm not being treated very well.
I'm not good." So
the
corrections can be made.
You understand? Conducive.
So corrections can be made. Okay, fine. Where I was, I did not like it. This is what happened. This is what did not happen. And then the government can say, "Okay, fine. We will change this or
as for Amaka Okoro is yet to be isolated. She's yet to be isolated. Her test result just came out and she was declared positive. And my concern is, you were talking about she's not yet a criminal.
She's not a criminal.
So she can't. Her pictures can't be posted.
That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. I said, look, there is a thin line. We know that before the police or any security agency posts anybody's picture and says this person is wanted, they would have gone to court and said, look, we have tried to get this person and we can't have the person.
Therefore,
right? And then because now say, okay, go ahead and declare the person wanted. Good, declared wanted, fine and good. This is now a very interesting case because the lady.
So why are you declared wanted? Why are you declared wanted?
Because you are a dangerous criminal. Now hold on, please. The lady poses a threat, maybe to health, all right, issues. But we don't know for sure. If you listen to the governor, he did not say she ran away. He said we have been unable to reach her, that her phones have been switched off. Anybody who has information about her should please provide for it. Now, a wanted criminal is someone who is running away from the law. But we don't know that she's running away from being caught. So that is where my own question is. Like, it's a fine line between this person is a criminal.
If the aspects you just came in from right now is the fact that we are trying to reach her and she's not reachable. When you went to the screening center, you dropped your house address. The house address was mentioned there. I'm pretty sure that the state government might have visited the house to inquire about her whereabouts, and people will tell you, obviously they would not know. So what does that mean?
That's another angle. You understand? That is another. She may have run away, or she may not have run away.
Let's come back.
What I'm saying is, we don't know for a fact that she has actually run away. That's my own.
Let's come back to the fact where you said, you go to the courts and declare this person wanted and not a criminal, right? You said because the person is assumed a criminal, but because the person is running away from the law, the person now becomes what? Wanted. That's what you said, if I'm going to quote you right. Now, in the case of Amaka Okoro is running from the law. Okay, let's say I'm sorry, I would say allegedly, because it's not yet confirmed if she is intentionally running away, according to you. I'm just taking your words for I'm taking what she said right now. Let's assume maybe her phone number is not reachable, but I come down to tell you that she has a house address. I'm sure they visited that house, and you can't tell me that a woman who has a child, let's say possibly she might be married or she might not be married, will not have people that would know her whereabouts. That's the thing. That might not have. So how would you not want to go back home? So it's kind of complicated. Yeah, you trying to come out and say, okay, don't post that picture because she's not yet a criminal.
That is it. Look, we know
as
how
it stands now. As it stands now, hold on. As it stands now, Amaka Okoro poses a health threat to the society.
Agreed.
And as it stands now, according to the COVID-19 law, according to the law surrounding COVID-19 right now, as it is right now, once you are detected positive, you are taken to the isolation center where you need to be treated to get better, so you don't spread it. That's it.
In the news this morning, the NCDC said some of their facilities were being, shall I say, overwhelmed, and people would have to now be treated at home, right? I mean, that was a statement from the DG yesterday. He said Lagos, he mentioned some states. I know Edo State was not one of the states mentioned. So if you now say everybody must be taken to the isolation center, why is the DG now saying some people have to be treated at home?
Then,
that's
okay, the word treatment is it, in quotes, wherever you are being treated, it is
an isolation center.
Wherever, I don't know, wherever you want to be treated, as long as the word treatment there, it is necessary you get treated to stop the spread of the virus. Besides, talking about posting of pictures. Let's assume this woman, let us assume that this woman is missing.
Someone is going to be treated. Is not even in this.
Let's hold on.
The reason I talked about, because look, we know our society.
I'm coming from your point of view. You saying that we should not post pictures.
Now, I know we know our society. We know how people stigmatize other people.
Yeah.
Someone suffers from HIV, right? The moment they discover, oh, this person, the person starts facing some stigma. Now we know people. We even know individuals who have suffered from COVID-19 and have recovered. And despite the fact that they have been certified negative twice, people still refuse to even have contact or have anything to do with them. That is where I'm coming in, It's not basically because I'm saying, okay, this person is, but
now let me come from that your angle of stigmatization. Let me come from your angle of stigmatization. Will you now say because we don't want that person to be stigmatized, you are jeopardizing the health of other people in the states? Oh, let's not post her pictures, so that people don't get to stigmatize her that, oh, she's a carrier of the COVID-19. Oh, let's not do things with her at the expense of other people's health in the society, thereby infecting other people that would also stand the chance of being stigmatized by other people. So it's a chain. It keeps going round. If she continue to be on the run, allegedly, I'll continue.
Saying on the run, you know for it. Maybe you have information.
That's why I said let me use the word
you have information.
Let me use the word allegedly. Let me use the word allegedly right now. Okay, or let's assume she's missing.
Okay.
If she's missing, can't you post the missing person's picture?
With the permission of the person who came to report them missing.
At this point, she is missing and the state government wants her. So can't you post her picture as a missing person? Okay, let's look at the state government coming out to say, oh, please, this person is missing. Please find her. Or probably put maybe an amount of money on to get her.
That is now a bounty. No, bounty is usually placed on the heads of criminals.
No, I had a conversation with somebody about this, and the person was like, nobody wants to go in search of her because she's carrying the virus. Nobody wants to come in contact with her. Oh, I found you. You could, when a bounty is being placed, on a criminal,
who goes in search of people?
When
those
a bounty
ones who escaped from the isolation center, who goes in search of
one of the victims that escaped from Borno isolation camp later turned herself.
Captured. That was how it came out.
Obviously,
recaptured.
I would not want to really know.
There is a task. What you should know is this: there is a task force that is in charge. Look, even the NCDC put together.
Question answered. You asked your question and you answered your question.
What question did I ask?
There is a task force in charge.
No, I'm answering. You said nobody would go after.
So you asked your question and you answered yourself. There is a task force. So that task force that have been set up might be the people in search of these particular persons or particular people that are in search. But let me come down to what you were saying: stigmatization. Oh, people don't post her picture so that people don't see her and say, oh, she's the person. Now this woman, why they buy something from if she's into business? Oh, is this woman that is my friend? And then after the whole thing and she's being treated and she's certified negative. Of course, to some extent, we know people will get to stigmatize her. But the truth of the matter is that these days, a lot of sensitization is being done, have been done on stigmatization, no matter the disease. HIV, whatever disease that comes with stigma. The returnees, of course, the returnees that we have here most times, we get to talk about stigmatization. And I'm sure it is dropping to the barest minimum by the special grace of God. So you are being concerned about her being stigmatized at the expense of the health of other people that might be that might contact the virus from her.
All you picked was stigma. I said some people can be over exuberant. Someone can see your picture somewhere and say, and they say, please, if you have information, and the person will not even read the other parts of the statements from the government. All right? And maybe they see a woman. Automatically, their mind is, oh, I saw this woman's picture on the TV. She's a criminal. And then they will react in that way. So that is that. Look, some people can be over. We even see security agents.
You're coming from another angle. You didn't mention this.
I mentioned two things. I said people can be over exuberant. This is what I meant by that. And then I mentioned stigmatization. All you took was the stigmatization part. We've seen security agents who have been told to maintain the curfew or maintain the lockdown, and we've seen how some of them have gone overboard.
No doubt.
And then they've been dealt with. Right? How much more private individuals who may not even be informed well enough or be well informed when they see someone's picture and then they just assume immediately that this person is, you understand?
Well,
so that's where I'm coming from.
Well, at this point, I would still suggest, when I saw the story yesterday, the first thing that came to my mind is, I know Amaka. So which of the Amakas? Obviously, Okoro is a general name. So which of the Okoros? And obviously, many Amakas also have kids, toddlers. So which of the Amakas? And I'm like, I think we should go extra to put out her picture and say, this is the Amaka we are looking for. Then we can now know that, oh, this is the person we are looking for. You are not the only Charles Oprum right now. I might not be the only God's Love Orlando right now.
I'm the only Charles Oprum that lives in my address. The one they announced.
Hold on. She might be staying somewhere else. She's not in her house. They've gone to her house address to look for her. She might not be there. She might be somewhere else.
So this is why everybody should actually be very careful. Everybody should be vigilant. If you know the lady in question, do well to send the information across. But I think in the long run, with all the arguments, all the back and forth, the risks have to be weighed. The health risks have to be weighed against.
It's more.
Usually we say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Right?
Yeah.
So with all the arguments, look, there are valid arguments back and forth. But I think with all the arguments, if the government were to go ahead and say, you know what, this lady is a big threat, as she is actually, to the health of people, and we want to put out her picture and all that. I mean, nobody can actually hold the government, and say you did not do the right thing. But
I think at this point, the state government is even giving her time to turn up herself. Yes. Oh, okay. Look, woman, we have your contact, we have your name. Yeah. Okay, and we are putting it out there in the news. We are giving you so. It might be like, oh, we have announced it. So, with your own discretion, let's wait for you. Then after 1-2 weeks, you don't show up.
Want to what? No,
that's like even too much.
No. After the announced yesterday, it should be today.
Days, and you don't show. Then your picture should be put out, because do you know how many people that would be come in contact with this woman for crying out loud? She has a baby. That's even the most concerned about part of this story, and she's already coughing.
The baby is coughing,
and the baby is coughing too.
All right. Remember, the governor actually extended the curfew yesterday. Let's listen to him quickly.
I am extending the curfew in Edo State for another 14 days. This time, it will be from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Because the extension of this curfew will certainly lead to more economic hardship for our people, we have decided to commence another round of distribution of relief materials to our most vulnerable citizens. With the lessons which we have learned from the first round of distributions, measures have now been put in place to make sure that only the targeted persons receive these palliatives. It is noteworthy that late testing was a strong contributory factor leading to these fatalities. That is why I'm advising everyone to come out and get screened at the numerous screening centers across the state, so that you can save your family and friends the agony and pain caused by the loss of a loved one. Our screening centers also offer free medical checkup, free multivitamins, and face masks when you go and get screened. I am confident, very confident, that we can beat this virus in Edo State if we take the necessary precautionary measures.
All right, so that was the Governor Gordon Obaseki, speaking there at the press briefing organized yesterday. I think it's time to get you in on the conversation. Feel free to comment on any of the topics we had during the course of the week and the follow-up today. Call us up this morning, 0706-263-9275, 0903-939-4427, and of course 0812-178-9154. You can text 0807-400-9076. And please, if you have information about the Maka Okoro, if you can't go to government house or anything, say it here on the radio. We will follow you up. That's okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning to you.
Good morning. This is Blessing. I'm calling you from Delta State.
All right, Blessing, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Please, I am worried. I'm afraid about the way and manner the federal government is always up and down, about this COVID-19 issue. Today, relaxation and the rest. To me, the approach they are taking now is not right. But the reason remains that they don't want to give money to the masses. And if proper approach is not taken, this thing will get out of hand. Partial lockdown. There's supposed to be a total lockdown to this issue so that everybody will be injured while they attend to those who have contracted it. Where are all the money that have been taken, that have been given so far? Please, they should do the needful before the situation deteriorates. That is what I want to say.
Thank you. They are doing the needful, actually. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Charles and Orlando.
Good morning to you.
This is Mr. Omos, I'm calling from the...
All right, welcome.
Yes, I just listened to your analysis this morning regarding the Amaka and a child. I think the authority, especially the Nigeria police, I think we have to find a smart way of doing things. Instead of you declaring you wanted, this person have a registered phone number. Can the police authority generate a phone number? The people she has been talking to for the past how many days now? You understand? So you can talk to those people and get to her. Definitely, she must be around her family members and her friends. So you understand?
Yes.
So we must try as much as possible to do the right thing in this country. This is what we have been saying on this platform. Just try to do what the government and the health workers have asked us to do. People will not do it. At the end of the day, people will start blaming authority. I think the Nigeria police must do a smart job and the government official must do a smart job. Instead of you coming to radio, go ahead and generate a phone information. So look at the people he's talking to regularly. Talk to those people can even lead you to where Amaka is right now. Thank you and good morning, Mr. Charles.
Thank you very much. That's another angle. I mean, if you check her phone records, you could say she has spoken to these people persistently over the course of the week. So through this, if anybody would know where she is, these are the people who would most likely know where she is. It's possible. I mean, that's another angle actually. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Osas calling from Kamaru.
Osas, you have to be a bit more upbeat. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I just want to know about the lockdown. Have you started already?
If it has started since 11 days ago.
No, the one from 8 to 6 a.m.
It's starting today. Or it started
yesterday, actually. The 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. started yesterday, and it's going to continue for 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, good morning.
No, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, this is Vince Blues.
All right, Vince Blues, you're welcome.
Please, I just want to confirm first of all, is there any plan by the state government to partially relax the total lockdown, allowing other businesses that are expected to reopen the money?
No, the state government did not announce. The governor did not announce that. Okay, all the extension he did was he reduced the curfew time from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. but the partial lockdown continues as before.
Okay. So on the matter issue, I want to ask, we were still not totally informed about the COVID-19 issue, because I'm wondering why to run, if actually to run away, then because I want to believe that anybody that is concerned with that virus now does not spend anything on his or her own. Am I right on
I didn't hear you. You said anybody with the virus does not do what?
As in, like for instance, if anybody found positive now, is it not the government that will take the responsibility for all the medical bills and what have you?
Yes, it is.
But yes, that is true. Yes.
So I'm wondering why is this woman running away now? Because if she's properly informed of the danger of this what is it called, the virus, and have been attacked, I wonder why she'll be running. So the government should really investigate what happened, what transpired there. Because I like it at least, and other people that go to at least. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Okay, so this is basically what I believe happen. You know, we have screening centers. So when you go to the screening center, you are screened, and if they feel like okay, you are a potential, candidate.
You are showing symptoms like possibly the symptoms of the coronavirus.
They can now
disease.
take your samples and then send to the testing center.
That was what happened.
So in the process, you will be advised to self-isolate. That is, stay in your house, don't go anywhere. So most probably, the lady did not take the advice. I think that's most probably what happened.
All right. Concerning the first question he asked about, state governments asking other businesses to reopen. Now, the federal government, I don't know about the state government, the federal government announced that this is coming from the head of the civil service, Yemi-san. She said that, from level 14 upwards, that they should resume, and they'll be working 3 times a week, and they'll be closing from 2 p.m. Also to banks, that they're also going to resume from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's it for bank. So, well, I've not heard, a contrary statement from the state government concerning this from the federal government. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
All right. I don't think you're calling us. Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning. My name is Sunday, myself, and I.
You're welcome, Sunday. Go ahead.
Yes, I think this market that I've recruited to primary schools. So I've really gone out to check, and I'm not seeing any social distancing. When you enter the market, see that the place is packed. So I think what the state government should do is, rather than go back to their market, then they should observe that social distancing and make the wearing of a face mask compulsory. Because when they go back to their various stores, they will have enough space. But this time that they are just packed.
Hold on. Sunday, wait. If they cannot have enough space in a large open space, is it in an enclosed market that they'll have enough space? Yeah, I mean, the day the market, for instance, in primary school, the day it was set up, there were measurements on the ground separating one table from another, for traders. And it was done with the spirit of having enough space. In fact, the day we even went to check some other place, I think we met Muktari, and he explained that spaces were, measured 6 feet apart between tables, okay, to maintain physical distancing. But that was the plan, okay. Now,
it can be followed.
Good. If you cannot follow it where they measured it for you, is it where they did not measure that you will follow?
But when we have enough stores in the market, of which we have fewer customers that will go to various places to buy things, so it can be curtailed in that way. That's my own opinion.
Okay, that's another angle. Thank you very much.
Well, quickly, this has actually been a lot of brought up a lot of argument. First of all, someone came from the angle of the weather. The rain is here, and it has posed a lot of threat for people, especially those people that might not have a large umbrella as large to cover all of their goods, and they might end up getting their goods soaked up in the rain. And because I went to the market one time and I asked to get something from a particular woman, and I asked for a particular thing, and she said it's in the store. You are not allowed to go to the store once everybody takes their goods out of, like in the classrooms where they lock up their goods after the day's market. That you are not, once you pack your things you want to sell for that day out, you're not going in there back again, except you want to take it inside. Now, in a situation where you have a heavy, we've been having, downpour, a very heavy downpour. What happens to their goods? Now, concerning the markets and the shops, people came from this argument that, first day, there was the social distancing because they were, the poor, they were there to ensure that would happen. But after the second day, we've said it here countless times that when you get there, it's looking like nothing happened.
It looks like a market.
It's looking
the
like
same way markets.
Now, this is it. It's from this angle of you are in your small shop, I am in my small shop, and now to some extent we are a bit far from each other. Now a customer wants to come buy something. Obviously, you're coming to my shop. You're coming to my own shop to get.
That have shops.
Yeah,
not everybody has a shop in the market. Some have tables. Yes, some have just tables. When you go to the market, when you go to some places,
where do you lock up your goods?
Look, there are places where they lock up their goods. There are some people who bring their goods from home. There are some people who don't have shops, as in shops. They just have tables. Observe.
Are those the ones we call the street traders?
No, not just street traders. There are some have shops, some don't have shops. So the essence of moving them from the market to schools was because these schools have large fields. So theoretically speaking, by theory, they could be spaced out. That was the thinking, okay? And it was on the ground. We went there to monitor, and we saw pegs in the ground, with
for demarcations.
For demarcation, like
now, if I can remember vividly, please, I might not be accurate with this information, but if I can remember vividly, the state government asked they move to schools for fumigation of what? The markets.
Fine, the markets were supposed to be fumigated.
Okay.
Now, until the state government says return, you can't return.
So I want to know if social distancing was part of, leave the market.
Yes, it was one of these because
leave your shops.
When we interviewed Muktari of Puwov, who is like the boss of Puwov here, he said the essence of this move is to maintain social distancing, and people were allowed into markets. I think 28 or 30 traders into a particular school. I'm referring to the school as a market now at the time. And if that school has been saturated, you guys will move to the next school. So that was what he explained to us when we went there to observe what was happening. And when we also went to the one at Enya, the CPS to the Enya, a local government chairman, also said that his boss pointed out that there had to be some level of social distancing. Anyways, we're out of time, but we will still go back and find out if the markets,
because this is a very valid opinion, and I think the state government should look into it. The rains are here and it's pouring down heavily.
All right, guys, join us next week for another edition of the program. My name is Charles Oporo.
And my name is Godslove Orlando. Good morning.
When you want to cook for family and friends, no be money cause I'm not about taking time or try Maggie Niger pot, but that delicious bottom pot taste. Niger pot, delicious bottom pot. Maggie Niger pot, delicious bottom pot, yeah.
New Maggie Niger pot, made from natural smoked fish, stockfish, crayfish.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
My people, make una open our ears wide. Because of this coronavirus wahala, government don't say make everybody sit down for house. Coronavirus now, bad disease wey don kill many people. But no cause for alarm, just do wetin government talk. Always wash your hands with soap, cover your mouth and...
Nigeria has recorded 204 new cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing the country's total infections to 1,932. According to a tweet by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Thursday, of the new infections, 80 are in Kano, 45 are in Lagos, while 12 are in Gombe, 9 each in Bauchi and Sokoto. Borno and Edo have 7 each, 6 are in Rivers and 6 in Ogun, 4 each in FCT, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa, 3 are in Kaduna, 2 in Oyo, 2 in Delta, 2 are in Nasarawa, Ondo and Kebbi have 1 case each. Meanwhile, the ravaging COVID-19 pandemic has affected 3,322,927 persons globally. There have been over 234,408 deaths recorded as at 1st of May. About a third of the COVID-19 cases recorded globally have also recovered, putting the figure at over 1 million. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control says it has activated the second molecular laboratory in Kano to enhance detection and prevent further spread of the coronavirus in the state. The agency, via its verified Twitter handle at NTDC.gov, said the center had been activated at the Bayero University, Kano. The center was designed with 180 daily testing capacity to complement the existing one at the Amino Kano Teaching Hospital. Another state government has declared one Amaka Okoro wanted for absconding with her baby after testing positive for coronavirus. Amaka, who lives at number 2 Atoyi Idubo Street off 2nd Ubo GRA, Benin City, disappeared with her baby, who's already coughing, when her result came out positive. The state governor, Godwin Obaseki, who made the declaration on Thursday during a press briefing, asked members of the public with information on her whereabouts to volunteer. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has congratulated Nigerian workers in commemoration of this year's International Workers' Day. Gbajabiamila said although the day is being marked quietly across the globe as a result of the lockdown necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic, there is much to remember about the sacrifices made by Nigerian workers. The Speaker, in a statement signed by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Lanre Lasisi, commended Nigerian workers for their commitment and dedication to work over the years, which he said has shaped the country tremendously. And President Muhammadu Buhari has extended the tenure of Professor Keme Ponde-led Interim Management Committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission from May 1st to December 31st, 2020. This is according to a statement by the President's Special Aide, Femi Adesina. President Buhari noted that the extension is to cover the period of the forensic audit of the NDDC earlier approved by the Federal Executive Council. In the same vein, Buhari equally approved that the NDDC provides intervention support to complement efforts of the federal and state governments against further spread of COVID-19 in the 9 states of the Niger Delta region in the sum of 6,250 million naira only. And that's KUFM's news update. Do not forget, coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Stay indoors, stay safe. I am Amaya Ogbaide. Press play is up next. Good afternoon.
KUFM. All the
press at Watford, but he used to be at Manchester United. You know, the hair dryer treatment is that special verbal assault that Sir Alex Ferguson used to lay on his players when they misbehave. So Ben Foster will be telling us about the hair dryer treatment that he got at the hands of Sir Alex Ferguson. Returning to football will be awkward. Who's saying this? Solomon Kalou, who now plays for Hertha Berlin in the German Bundesliga. And we hear that the Hungarian Grand Prix is going to go ahead, but it will be held without spectators because of the coronavirus crisis. Good evening. Welcome to Sports Fiesta. It is live on 92.7 KFM Benin City. I'm your host, Sali Ibrahim, the Sports Bracadabra, Sanofi Francis, the Sports Berlusconi, and Agosarek Bekan, the Sports Maestro, are also here. Guys, let's begin in England. Ben Foster, who is the goalkeeper at Watford, he has been talking about some of his past managers. He talked about Sir Alex Ferguson, talked about Tony Pulis, and he talked about Fabio Capello. And of course, when you talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, yes, you talk about him with reverence, respect, and everything. But if you've ever been at the receiving end of the hair dryer treatment, you will never forget that. So he also spoke about the hair dryer treatment. He said Sir Alex Ferguson told him, "That is you done." And of course, when the manager tells you that, then you know you are in serious trouble. He was the second choice goalkeeper at that time, so they usually get into the first team when they are having a problem. And so he said, once in a while he got that chance. So at the day that they played that famous Manchester derby, in which Michael Owen scored the winning goal. It was 3-3 with they were in added time at that period, and then Michael Owen got that goal and they won the game. So he thought that it was all over because they won. Everybody was celebrating and everywhere was buzzing, you know, in the dressing room. And he thought all the clangers that he made on the pitch would be forgotten by Sir Alex Ferguson. But as everybody was celebrating, Sir Alex Ferguson shut down everybody. And he was the last to come into the dressing room. Sir Alex Ferguson shut down everybody and then went to him and said, look, if you pull that stunt again, that is you done. But Sir Alex Ferguson still kept him in the pitch because he made some high-profile errors in that game. So Alex Ferguson was telling him, if you repeat that in the next game, then you'll be out of the team. And then they now played at home again to Sunderland. And then Kenwyn Jones he said he was so strong and he bullied him to the ball and then he scored a header. And he was on the floor for a long time, but eventually Patrice Evra scored a last-minute equalizer. And then he thought that because they did not lose that match, Patrice Evra had spared his blushes, so Alex Ferguson will forget what he did, the error that he committed. But when they went in at full time, Sir Alex Ferguson went at him for about 3 minutes. He said, that is you finished, you are finished, you are out of the team and in the reserve. That is you done. And that all the big boys in the team, including Cristiano Ronaldo, were in the dressing room as at the time that Sir Alex Ferguson was giving him this hair dryer treatment. And that was really him done, that he played with the reserves for the rest of the season.
Well, if you watch Ben Foster at Manchester United, you have these kind of mixed feelings about him. 1 minute he's one of the best goalkeepers you've ever seen, making some fantastic saves. Then there's 2 minutes when you're turning your TV set, looking at him, he's making some great highlights that could lead to them getting on the being with their backs on the wall or losing a game. I remember vividly the game you referenced, the Manchester derby. He made some blunders. The Bellamy goal, the Tevez goals as well. Goal, then Bellamy got a brace in that game. It was kind of decisions that I felt he could have made better, more precise, and then clear off the ball, especially the one Craig Bellamy scored and made it 3-3. He ran after the ball. He called at Rio Ferdinand. He ran after the ball. At the same time, he was trying to dribble, get past Craig Bellamy. And Bellamy, being a very strong and pacey forward, took the ball off him and just ran onto an empty net to score. Then the very next game, he had the opportunity to have punched the ball. He's always trying to make a bigger impression on the team for himself, probably to put Edwin van der Sar then on the bench. He had the opportunity to have just gone to the ball and punched out. But he wanted to hold on to the ball. And you're contesting with someone that is way taller than you, one, and more physical than you. And he bullied him. And the worst part of it was Ben Foster was down. And he needed his own teammate to come share him. He was just there with Dankas. And after that goal, before Patrice even got the equalizing in that game, he made some other mistakes. Fortunately for him, they lead to them conceding a goal. Where you don't do that with Sir Alex Ferguson. Everything's about you being spot on, you being perfect. I mean, I don't think there's any player that's ever gone through Alex Ferguson that has never received the air dryer treatment. Even the great Cristiano Ronaldo, Roy King, Stam and all that. Stam told him, said that Sir Alex Ferguson just called him after the training and said, "Where are you?" He said he was at this place. Okay, I'm driving. I'm coming to meet you. Wait for me. Just drove to that place, came and said, "You're done. You're leaving Manchester United. I tried. I did my best, but the board have sold you. You are the next plane to Milan. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Bye-bye." And those were the statements. I mean, he was a straightforward a man as a coach. He would tell you the truth. He would train you as a father. He will train you as a footballer, but he will always tell you the truth. So for Ben Foster, for me, he did not deserve as at that time to be a United player.
No, well, I think not really. Let me just come to his defense. Not that he did not deserve to be a United player. It was just that he was having bad days, and sometimes you have goalkeepers. Even the big-time goalkeepers. Sometimes you see them having.
If you have bad days consistently, then you don't deserve to be a Manchester United.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, because of this trip with the club and all that. But sometimes I think.
Do you remember? Do you remember when Jose Mourinho came on board? Do you remember the coach of Chelsea?
Did that he succeeded?
The coach before Peter Cech came on board. Do you remember the coach of Chelsea?
Claudio Ranieri.
No, sorry, goalkeeper rather. Sorry, the goalkeeper. Codicini.
Remember? Codicini. Yeah.
What made Jose Mourinho to go for Peter? A younger goalkeeper. Yeah. Because of Codicini on a very good day can be the best goalkeeper.
Yeah, in the Premier League, I recall the commentators then saying that in the few matches that Codicini played, that this is probably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's just second choice in Chelsea because Peter Cech is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
Yeah, on a very good day, Codicini can keep you in a game, but on his day of making howlers, I mean, it's Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's not a good goalkeeper, but there are some goals you so like Kepa, you can do better than this.
All right, many people have told us about the head treatment they received from Sir Alex Ferguson. I remember one in particular, I think we've mentioned it here on the show. Diego Forlan, when he played at Manchester United, and he said there was one day Sir Alex Ferguson was so experienced that when he tells you something, just accept it. Do not even argue with him because you have seen it all in football. And he said Sir Alex Ferguson told him when he used the particular boot, and he wanted to put the boot on, and Sir Alex Ferguson told him, look, the grass that we are playing on is long and your studs are kind of long. They are going to get caught in the grass, so do not use these boots on this surface. And Sir Alex Ferguson thought I was doing other things, so he thought Sir Alex Ferguson, because he was not looking at him and he loved that boot, so he wore the same boot that Alex Ferguson told him do not wear. So when they got on the pitch, he had an opportunity to score a goal, but the stud of his boot got caught in the grass and he fell and missed that opportunity. So at halftime, he ran to the dressing room, hoping that before Sir Alex Ferguson will come in, he will have changed the boot, so Ferguson will not see that he actually used the boot that he advised him not to wear. But as he was about taking off the boots, Sir Alex Ferguson just walked into the dressing room and saw him that he actually used that boot, and that's why he fell and missed that goal. Of course, Sir Alex Ferguson gave him the head treatment, and that was him done at Manchester United. Well, Ben Foster also talked about the other coaches. Tony Pulis, he said this was a guy who did not care about fancy football, that he once told them, forget that Barca stuff, get in there and get around it. He doesn't care about the tiki-taka kind of football. Just go ahead and play your game. What they used to call kick and follow kind of football in those days. So he said one of the things that happened was that it was the last day of the season. They're playing away at Swansea when they were in the Premier League and winning 1-0, and they were a good team, really slick, and it was baking hot, and they were not playing Tony Pulis football. It was lovely football, and they got in at halftime, and Tony Pulis asked them, what are you doing? What is that? And then he held up a picture and drew a line on it from an 18-yard line all the way across to the other, and then he scribbles out the middle of the pitch, and he said, look, forget that Barca stuff, get in there and get around it. That is the kind of football that I want you to play. They also talked about another coach, Fabio Capello, who was his manager in the Three Lions. He said, well, Fabio Capello was very respected and everything, and that he knows that Fabio Capello was one of the most respected coaches at that point, but he was different from every other managers and most people that he has come across in his life, that he just did not feel that Fabio Capello showed him any respect. That once they were on an international assignment, and that his wife was pregnant with their second child in Manchester, and then she rang him up and told him that, look, I think my waters have broken, but just chill, we'll see how it goes. Then he went in to see the manager and he told him, Fabio, I think my wife is in labor and I need to go up north. And Fabio just looked at him and said, we have training in an hour. And he said, really? He just thought about it, really? That they have training in half an hour. Anyway, he managed to persuade Fabio Capello to let him get off. Within 2 or 3 hours of his son being born, he was on the phone telling him, I need you back. We have a game tomorrow. And that it was even actually a friendly, and so he told him that he was going to play in the second half and it will be worth it, but that he did not come on for even a single minute. So Fabio Capello made him to leave his wife and his newborn son, and then
without
came
playing the game.
but he did not play something that was even a friendly game. So those are some of the stories that Ben Foster told about the coaches that he played under. All right, guys, we are going on our first break right now. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
My people, make una listen with government for Edo State. One make sure say all of us know how our body day for this coronavirus wahala. Starting from Wednesday 22nd April 2020, our health workers will start what they call mobile post screening for coronavirus, and now for all the 12
and porridge will make it sense. When you want to cook for family and friends, no be money cause I'm not about taking time or else. Try Maggie Nigeria pot for that delicious bottom pot, please. Nigeria pot, delicious bottom pot. Maggie Nigeria pot, delicious bottom pot, yeah.
New Maggie Niger pot, made from natural smoked fish, stockfish, crayfish.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
As the world marks Workers' Day, I salute all Edo workers working tirelessly to build a state that we can be proud of through their meaningful services and sacrifices. Although these are trying times for us all, I want to reiterate that despite dwindling economic fortunes caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, my administration remains resolute in our commitment to the welfare of workers in Edo State. This is why I have ensured that the payment of all workers and pensioners are as when due. My administration has continued to provide in-service training, life insurance, and special allowances to all health workers managing the coronavirus pandemic in the state. Although this is not equivalent to the extent of their sacrifices, it will at least ensure that they are...
Enterprise Foundation Building, number 62, Ihama Road, GRA, Benin City. KUFM, your business growth partner.
Yeah, you got to feel it. You're sipping on some good, you got to feel it. And if you're throwing up the you got to feel it. Fiesta, 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 fiesta.
All right, welcome back. We expect the German Bundesliga to be the first league to resume in Europe after the coronavirus lockdown. But there are, we even thought that by the 9th of May, that was their proposal, that they were going to resume on the 9th of May. But from what we are getting now, they have postponed that, so they are not going to be resuming on the 9th of May. But the Bundesliga already says they are ready to resume, depending on when the government would give them permission. But we now have another spike in the number of infections in Germany, and so that plan to start on the 9th of May has been shelved for now. But Solomon Kalou, who used to play for Chelsea in England, he now plays for Hertha Berlin in Germany. He says any return to top-flight football while the coronavirus remains an issue, that is going to be awkward. Remember that in the morning we told you Sergio Kun Aguero of Manchester City said that many players are afraid to return to football. Carlos said he isn't afraid, but that it is going to be awkward because football is a contact sport. And so long as there is no vaccine, so long as the coronavirus is still an issue, whenever you have contact with another player, you have that fear. What if this guy is infected? And all of that. So it is going to be awkward. That if they could do it in such a way that you will not have contact with another player, then it might be easy. But knowing that you will be contacting other players, because that is the nature of football, that is going to be really, really awkward for people to go back to football.
Well, I agree with him because though they said they were ready to test the players, then they sanitize or disinfect the whole venue before and after games. But one keeps wondering, what about one contracting that virus after a match. Just like what Sergio Kunavero said, that they are scared, returning, but they just want to come. But for me, I think the fact that they have given them that assurances that okay, every player will be tested, then the venue sanitized or disinfected, the way whichever way you want to call it. But I think without the fans, that would be one issue that we are looking at. Then because it's a contact sport, because we hear that some players returning to training will be using a face mask. That is for training. But what about the match itself? Are they going to be using face mask or kind of a mask that will not give them issues while playing? Or are they going to play without, tapping each other? That's the reason. So if there's approval that everything the coast is clear for them to play, as many that will be in that stadium on that day, maybe 200 fans because of the social distancing and all that. If the approval comes that everything will be okay, play your normal game. At the end of the day, we'll do the testing and all that, and we are sure that you are okay. I don't think there will be problem. It wouldn't be awkward to Carlo, but then because of the fact that they have not started and people are still thinking, will it be okay after matches? Are we going to be okay? That's the debate they're still having now. But if everything is going to be okay after the restart, based on the guidelines or the...
He's saying so long as the coronavirus is still an issue, as in they do not have a vaccine yet, and there is no cure yet, that even if you test the players before the match, and you know that, okay, all of these players that are coming in are coronavirus negative, but what if something happens within the match, and you've had contact with some of these players, you will have that, you will not be 100% free in your heart,
just like
in the past. Even if you score a goal, for instance, another players run and they jump on you and you hug and you do all of these things. In this coronavirus situation, yes, even if you score and other players are coming to celebrate with you, you want to move away from them. And besides,
social distancing.
And besides, how do you play a game without tackling? Tackling is part of the game. That's why some people are defenders. That's why we have different skills in the game of football.
It's going to be awkward, right?
Yeah, it's going to be really awkward.
Imagine
you might have...
It's awkward. These days, you can't see your friends. I just saw a friend of mine came in for the program. We graduated together at University of Benin. He's a lecturer now at University of Benin. He came here for a program. We saw it, but all we could do was just to get and I mean, we are paddy to date, as in we're in the same class and everything. We ate and did a lot of stuff together. But we saw now after many years, after 9 years we left school, we couldn't really. We're just relating from afar. That is awkward. Normally we're supposed to hug and talk about family, how's your children, your kids, brother, and your wife and stuff like. We couldn't really do that. We're just talking from afar. That's the problem. I think football, in my honest opinion, should not come back too early. I still prefer what the Netherlands did. Let's look at the month of June. Let's look at the month of May that we are now by grace of God. Let's look at the month of July, then probably August, then September, where we know we've fully tackled with what we're getting now. There's serious bigger light now at the end of the tunnel. The vaccine that they are trying right now, let's hope that in the next 2 weeks the thing is paying off. So between June, July, and August, we can really tackle and produce this thing mass and distribute to the world and ensure that everybody is vaccinated. Then we can get back to the pitch. Football will never go, but once you lose your life, you can come back.
So he also talked about how they are training and enforcing social distancing rules. What they are doing now is they separate the teams to 3 squads of 8. That's how they have been training. There are 24 players on the training pitch. They're divided into 3 groups of 8 each, and they try to keep social distance. But in football, it is very, very difficult for you to
do that?
Keep social distance, except if you say one side shouldn't be.
There's not be pulling off shirt.
Yeah, except if you say, okay, just do shadow marking. You don't really have contact. But
what if you need that point? You need that.
How do you shadow mark?
No, you can't do that in a game. I'm talking about training. Just saying in training they try and do that, but of course you can't do that. You will have to tackle a player now.
I can trust my team enough to be COVID-19 free. I can't do that against another team that we don't stay in the same environment. And like I spoke about bonding, I mean, how do you get to bond with your teammate to understand when your teammate does this thing, like he's raising his hands, he's telling you something, when you are keeping that social distancing? I feel it's going to be awkward. I'm just looking for, imagine in England, you're telling the players to come into the training ground with face masks. I don't know how they're going to do it. The FIFA proposing if you get to spit on the grass, you get a yellow card. How are you going to stop footballers from spitting on the grass?
Oh, you sweat all the time.
It's going to be difficult. How are you going to tell the footballer that is on the pitch playing not to touch his face, not to touch his nose, mouth, and eyes? And I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see how they can really coordinate things.
Yeah, let's go to Formula One now. The Hungarian Grand Prix organizers, they said that the race will have to be held without spectators this year because of the coronavirus crisis. The Hungarian government announced on Thursday that there will be a ban on all gatherings of more than 500 people until the 15th of August. The organizers said they have pursued all possible ways to stage the event with fans, but this is no longer possible, and so they are thinking of now holding it with behind closed doors. That is, if they are even going to hold it at all. It was originally scheduled to start for the 2nd of August, but the Formula 1 calendar has now almost completely been ripped up, and published dates, they remain largely irrelevant as they are trying to see how they can restart it. But whatever time that they're going to have the Hungarian Grand Prix is going to be behind closed doors.
Really disappointing for what the COVID-19 has done, because by now we should have had over 8 races, if not more than that. But because of what has happened, so many races have been postponed. Some are trying to do theirs without fans. Yes, we understand that, yes, fans are part of the sport, but with what is going on right now, yes, they can stay at home and see how they can follow it from home, and let the main actors, the drivers and other staff who are part of the race, go out there and also ensure that everyone is well tested and everything is order before they can have that race. If one event could go on and be successful at the end of the day, that will give others the chance to say, okay, where everything is getting to normal, let's see what we can do. So this proposing an event is good, but let's see how far they can do one, because so far so good, we've not had any races this year, and the calendar is kind of, I don't know how many races they are going to have, just to make up for the year, because normally we have a number of races.
Yeah, they are planning to have 2 races at Austria's Red Bull Ring. That will be on the 5th and 12th of July, followed by 2 races at Silverstone on the 19th and 26th of July. Silverstone, they've already announced that they are not going to have fans at the race.
So if you can have 3 races, the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix, then the Silverstone, I think that will also send message that things are getting better. I think it's good that they are holding these meetings, but let's see how they can do that without the fans. Then let's see the outcome, and that will ensure that yes, things are already getting there.
All right, so tennis now. The young lady who won the Madrid Open, that's WTA tournaments, Kiki Bertens, she said she trained so hard that her hands hurt, and that was how she was able to defend her title in a PlayStation battle between the world's leading stars. She took on her WTA professionals on a computer game, and this was the nearest that she came to retaining her title at the Madrid Open. And then the Dutch number 7, she managed to back up last year's clay court win by triumphing in the esports tournament that replaced the Great 10 because of the coronavirus pandemic. She won the WTA Open Virtual Pro, while Andy Murray clinched the ATP title.
If you're a gamer, I used to be into it so much in those days. Still play it sometimes when I have the opportunity back then in secondary school. If you're a gamer and you're seriously into it and you're losing or you are determined to win, the way you press the buttons are way kind of harder, and when you do that, because these are plastic buttons, they are in soft buttons, they kind of have a way of damaging your thumb finger and stuff like that. So I understand being that it is competitive and there's prize money to be won and all that.
Kiki Barton's got 60,000 euros.
Yeah.
I told you in the morning, Andy
Money
got
got 150. Yeah, so it's. Oh, I understand why she said. So for you to be at your best, sometimes you need to get to hurt yourself. Not just about being a gamer, but in anything you do, when you have to get to that level you want to get to, you have to make some sacrifices, and sometimes those sacrifices will hurt you. But if you are consistent, then you can achieve. Yeah. So, but again, it's not something you get used to. Trust me. When there are times you play, and at some point you can place your hand on those pad and the buttons on the pad, and you'll be feeling your hands on the pad because the flow of the blood is no longer getting there. Especially when you're playing a competitive game. If it's just a game I'm playing with you, for instance, I know there's nothing at stake. I can relax my nerves and play, but you're playing a competitive game, you are having that mindset that you want to defeat your opponent, and you know when you do that, there's a prize money for you to take home. So it's always like that. I think she's going to feel it. Maybe after 1 or 2 days, she's going to be icing that tomb for a while before she can get back to normal.
Well, half of the money that she won will go to the relief fund that is providing assistance to lower ranked players. The other half will go towards fundraising efforts in her country, the Netherlands. The nation had lost almost 40. They have almost 40,000 cases of COVID-19, according to the Johns Hopkins University, and they recorded 4,795 deaths to date, which is the 7th highest in Europe. And the money, of course, we know half went to the NHS, that's the National Health Service, and then half went to the players that are ranked lower in tennis for the men. All right, we'll go on this other break, and when we return, we'll be taking your calls. Stay tuned.
I'm a teacher. I'm a real good teacher.
Nigerian teachers have been negatively affected by the necessary lockdown imposed by the government to curb the coronavirus pandemic. The Okonofua Foundation will give the sum of 2 million naira monthly to be shared by 200 teachers in Edo State to mitigate the economic hardships of COVID-19. 200 different teachers will be selected every month, and each will get the sum of 10,000 naira until the lockdown is lifted. We will also provide special packages for teachers who are able to innovate and teach online. Teachers of public and private secondary schools across the 18 local government areas of Edo State should please go to our website www.okonofuafoundation.org to register. Click on COVID-19 Lockdown Teacher Support and log in your full name and account number, the name of the school and the local government area it is located, and indicate whether it is a private or public school. All entries will be cross-checked with the Ministry of Education, so only registered teachers should apply. Okonofua Foundation, bridging the gap.
I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm a real good teacher. I run my class like I know I should. Heal the world. Make it a better place.
My name is Sunday Ojo, Director of Operations at the Okonofua Foundation. This is a challenging period in the history of our country and state. As a foundation, we are renowned for our support for education and sport. Our teachers' welfare is our priority. We are currently supporting teachers in public and private schools across the 18 local government areas of Edo State. We also want to use this medium to call on corporate organizations and individuals to partner with us towards uplifting our vulnerable teachers at this point in time. You can reach us on info@okonofuafoundation.org and 0703 636 8840. Please, it is important we adhere strictly to the social distancing rule announced by our state governor, and if possible, let's stay at home.
Heal the world. Make it a better place.
My people, make una open our ears wide. Because of this coronavirus wahala, government don't say make everybody sit down for house. Coronavirus now, bad disease wey don kill many people. But no cause for alarm, just do wetin government talk. Always wash your hands with soap. Cover your mouth and nose if you want cough and sneeze. Don't near anybody. Remember say all markets and shops remain closed except medicine stores and shop for essential things. Government don open food market for primary schools for every corner. You fit waka go there, but government say anybody wey wan comot for house must wear face mask. Remember say if you see as your cough and sneeze be, or say your body dey hot, or you no fit breathe well, oya go see doctor or call this toll-free number 0800-123-5111 or 0800-220-0110. On our way just come from abroad. Show yourself to government now, make them help you. My people, shine your eyes and sit down for house. Coronavirus no fit come meet you for your house. Nedo State government bring on this message.
Maggi Nigeria content, we sweet and porridge we make it sense. When you want to cook for family and friends, no be money cause I'm not about taking time or try Maggi Nigeria pots for that delicious bottom pot. Nigeria pots, delicious bottom pots. Maggi Nigeria pots, delicious bottom pots. Yeah.
New Maggi Niger Pot, made from natural smoked fish, stock fish, crayfish.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
Welcome back, guys. Now it's time for you to join us on the show. Call us on 07062639275 or 09039394427. You can also reach us on 08121789154. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Welcome.
It's Mr. Francis. Good evening, sir.
Barcelona, good evening.
Yeah, it's Barcelona. Mr. Ibrahim, I totally agree with Solomon Carlos. You see, things will not be as usual if this coronavirus has come to stay. God forbid. Because we can't just be playing football, like you guys said, we start attacking that person, or you score a goal now, you expect your team players not to celebrate with you. It is difficult, not just football alone, other activities in the world. If this coronavirus has come to stay, it will be very difficult to cope with it. So I would advise the government or the football body just to wait at least till June. Let's see what the medical expert has come out with, maybe with a vaccine or something, to make sure this coronavirus does not spread anymore.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, my name is Frankie, calling from Idopa.
Frankie.
Yes, Frankie.
Frankie, go on.
Okay, I don't really have much to say this evening. I just called in to request the SMS number. Most times the traffic on these lines are too heavy, and if we don't call out the SMS numbers very often.
Sorry, you said we do not call the numbers often?
I mean the SMS line, for the sports show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you now.
Thank you, sir. Great job you guys are doing. God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The SMS number is 081 851 00884. Again, 081 851 00884. Hello.
Hello, Guy Brian. Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes, sir. Guy Brian, please, I get question to ask. So, everybody, good evening, sir.
Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, Guy Brian, you get some program when you come and don't say one time when you call Let's Play. And that program, they watch them for Good TV for South Africa. That program, they improve on children in South Africa. But I never come across that program in our state, those states, or in Nigeria. So I don't know if other people can put us through that Let's Play. Because me, I get interest to initiate my son in that kind of program, sir.
Okay, sorry, but we cannot tell you much about it because that Let's Play is a program done by Super Sports. Okay, it's not like it is the Edo State government or the Edo State Football Association where we can tell you, we'll get information for you. So it is done by that company. Okay, so I really don't know much about
once.
Yeah, they just came once
last year or last 2 years.
But as you said, I also watch it a lot on DSTV. They go to different places and they try to get children involved in sports. And honestly, in the next couple of years, South Africa, well, even today they are huge in sports. But if we think that we are going to overtake them, and then we've got to think again, because if we know what they are doing, their children are getting involved. And it's just that we are more naturally talented. That's why we are able to do it. All right, thank you. But look, if you are talking organization, look, forget, we're not near them at all. But the thing is, we just have that natural ability more than them, and that's why in football and even you can see what's happening now. How many of our athletes can beat Akani Simbini in the 100 meters or 200 meters? How many of our athletes? Long jump. What's this guy's name? Aaron. No, I'm talking about long jump. Okay. Aaron Mokoena. No, sorry, not
Aaron is the player.
Aaron is the footballer. What was this? Forgotten this guy's name. Two of them, in fact. I'll try and get their names. Two fantastic long jumpers who are doing great stuff. We cannot even talk about Kester Semaya in the 800 meters and in other competitions now. Or Wade Van Niekerk in the 400 meters, who is today the world record holder. Not even our own Innocent Bunike, who was great and had the African record, is anywhere close to Wade Van Niekerk. Hello? 070-6263-9275 090-3939-4427 081-2178-9154. Those are the numbers to call, and then you send your SMS to 081-851-00884. Okay, we've got some commercials this time. Let's quickly go and take them, and then when we return, we'll take more of your calls.
My people, make una listen with government for Edo State. One make sure say all of us know how our body day for this coronavirus wahala. Starting from Wednesday, 22nd April 2020, our health workers go start what they call mobile post screening for coronavirus, and now for all the 12 wards for all the local government. I beg, make una cooperate with all health workers. This mobile post screening now the same one where they don't they do for some health centers. I beg, make all of us try stay for house, and if you can't be say we must enter town, make sure say we wear face mask and make we dey wash our hands with soap and tap water when they flow. I beg, make we no near people. Remember say curfew dey for Edo State from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Call these toll-free numbers if we get any issue. 080-0123-5111 and 080-022-00110. This coronavirus, we go get over them. Edo State government bring on this message.
All right, welcome back. 070-6263-9275 090-3939-4427 081-2178-9154. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
This is Pastor from Adowa.
All right.
First, I want to commend you guys for the good work you're doing.
Thank you.
I guess the football match, I think, should be put on hold. People are saying they heard the FA is still in England to go back to football because of the billions of pounds they stand to lose. But people's lives are more important than football. When one dies, that person is gone forever. But football can always be back. So I think they shouldn't be in a hurry until the COVID-19 curve has been flattened. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Baba, good evening.
Asna. Welcome.
Good evening. Can I say good evening? Yes, good evening.
Good evening, brother. Welcome.
Baba, I got to test this thing because I don't think we'll be safe for this another angle. And again, most people do now. I don't know if it was done, but they say I'm a coffee do. Coffee not do. Coffee not ball. If you go for a weekend, so much 1:30, 3:30, 4 o'clock. People will see gather to the Russian for one place. So now so it is. They put on hold for now. Maybe they put on hold. So now we can see now. Like can I say hello? This morning when I hear you they talk, if you come against Osaze 1-on-1, you don't go argue English. You come against Osaze 1-on-1, you can come against them 1-on-1 around like 2002, 2003. Damn, like for himself, for each other, nobody will know me. Even some me and them see the people, they ship And then even I think we see men as this guy that they evaluate for this thing. Now so we be really because they go their training ground, who watch them, they'll carry me now they are both at the end to come out. When I miss it as a small thing, then when I check it as a now I say this one is small thing because the burn, the really deep for your hand, you know, say this one I never even go anywhere.
You shake and reach your bone. I said you shake us as I reach in bone. Now your hand
there must be something else, bro. There must be something else, bro. But we understand what you try to talk, Sha. We get you.
The first time I get injury for insurance, when we get injury for training ground for insurance, he forgot to speak English. Now Russia is speak. I like that. We got that because
I was confused. I didn't know where it was coming from, where it was heading. I was like, what language is this? So we're all young then.
Yeah. Well, the last the books, I know the one I came out try to call back. I don't know about that.
All right. Thank you. By the guys I was trying to remember the long jumpers of South Africa, Godfrey Mokoena. Godfrey Mokoena. Then after him, Godfrey Mokoena even at one point switched to triple jump. Then there is another one, Luvo Mayonga. That's the current one. He even won silver at the 2016.
So are you saying that we should get to beat these people?
Euro 2016.
We can catch them, yo.
You've got to
Good
train.
luck.
Hello. Hello. Please, when you call, try and be in a quiet environment. Yeah, Madrid, don't come.
Yeah, greetings to Oga Francis and Oga Egusa.
Madrid, don't come. What's up?
Madrid stars.
For the English Premier League, I know the English Premier League is unusual for eyes, and I feel that the reason why it's difficult for them to take decision. But where there is majority, you don't look at minority. 25 points, that should be enough for the management to close their eyes and give their league to Liverpool. They don't look for how to pick those that will qualify for Champions League, give this playoff. The same thing should go for the championship. I have been waiting for West Brom and players there. I had the man that was going to play in the Premier League next season. Yes, he is a fantastic defender.
Let me tell you now the latest from the meeting here today. We'll discuss about this. It's just breaking now extensively tomorrow. That all the clubs they've agreed that they will end the season as they will play the remaining 92 fixtures of the season. But that is depending on when the government will give them the green light.
Yes, are you talking about England now?
Yes, England.
They were meeting before we came into the studio and we were getting the updates.
So in the act of this ravaging virus.
No, what is telling you is that they have agreed that the option, which is option A, option B, option C, is that they will complete the season. So they will do all they can to complete the season. That is what they are saying.
For Spain, it should be cancelled. Champions League should be cancelled. Europa League, there's no headway. This should be cancelled, and England should decide on let's go direct. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Good evening.
This is me calling from PZ.
Okay.
What I want to talk about is concerning the lockdown and those that are still violating it, concerning those that are playing football up to now.
Yes, they are playing football up to now where?
If you can come to PZ tomorrow, because the last week Saturday, I went to a field in PZ and I met the crowd, the multitude there. I saw playing football. I was really surprised.
Wow.
Last week Saturday morning, and I'm sure they're still going to play tomorrow. PZ.
All right. Thank you. We'll get on the FA.
They've got a task force
about it, so that the task force can go there. Thank you very much. but people should place. I don't understand. I don't know what else there is. I had some
they want to call
calling Egosa and telling him that
are you sure this thing is
that they are not seeing the pictures, they are not seeing. Look, you know, we are we are regulated by a body, the National Broadcasting Commission. So there are certain things that I cannot say otherwise. I will have said. Look, I just don't understand this. You want to see pictures of people who have the coronavirus, and it's not even correct that there are no pictures. They show pictures. It's just that sometimes they blur the face. But there have been some who have come out. They've had interviews on national TV, and they've said, "I survived the coronavirus." If you do not know anybody, the Edo State Speaker, the House of Reps Speaker, Frank Okie, he announced that he had the coronavirus. The Deputy Governor announced that he had the coronavirus. Now he is negative, so he can appear in public. The Governor of Kaduna State announced, people are dying. The Chief of Staff to the President died as a result of the coronavirus.
So what else?
Somebody was even asking me today, this thing is, are you sure it is? I'm like, are you okay that they want to use it to make money? I'm like, which money will they make that will make the government to shut down its own economy?
Yeah.
You know what it means to shut down Lagos? To shut down Kano, to shut down Abuja? You know how much the government is losing? So because of which money they are going to get from where? That will now make them say there is coronavirus when there isn't, and they will shut down the country. You are not aware that people are dying. As I said, there are some things that you cannot share. So let's just leave it at that. Let's take the text messages.
Okay. This one reads, good day, Sport Guru, Ogai Brian. I don't have problem in people age. Ogai Brian, if you see me, you will think I'm 30. You won't believe I'm just 23 until I present my birth certificate. And I like it because I've been very well respected from my friends who are more older than me. Please, he's about United. Victor, United #1 from. Yeah, I understand.
That's how I almost called one of my younger, you know, in Africa we're all brothers and sisters. But she was actually my aunt too. Okay. But I almost called her auntie. Okay. But you know now, even though we know that the relationship is actually your aunt, is my dad's sister, but I'm older than her.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time I met her, thank God I did not call her auntie, but I was almost calling her auntie. Before I got to know that I was 2 years older than her, I'm like, yeah, that's why I call this small girl auntie.
I think the reason why people are running from the isolation centers because of the initial information about COVID-19. What initial information that is it is deadly, but it's not a death sentence. The word deadly used there is because they want you to be very, very careful, to take precautions and ensure that you understand that this thing is deadly, but it's not a death sentence. Mr. Ibrahim, you have not talked about ITU Cup money that has not been paid to
ignore that. It must be that grandpa that sent.
Yeah, but again, we've explained over and over and over.
For how long?
If by some chance the Bundesliga, the EPL La Liga resumes and Nigeria is still on lockdown, there is no gathering. How do majority of football fans get to see this game? Curse. People will not hear if there is coffee or not. Many money from Aduwa. Trust me, the coffee is still in very much active here and no view center. Okay. Only sport related text messages here, please. Good day, sportmen. In as much as I want Liverpool to win the league, but let it be won on the pitch. Outside that, let it be that the season never happened. Mr. Ibrahim, you just reminded me of when Super Eagles won the Nations Cup in 2013. It had been popular, hot to see. Okay. Good day, sport gods. They should give Liverpool the trophy for those players tipped to leave this season to enjoy what they hustle for after 30 years, because next season is not going to be easy for them. The trophy is going to the rest side of Manchester, and also Man United should not try to pay any 200 billion for Bros Kane. I'm warning them now. Evis from Lucky Way, okay. And finally, good PM Sport crew. I'm David from Upper Ikewa, rather. Guy Brahim. I had Arrow Barkley of Chelsea. That's, I guess, Ross Barkley. He said Arrow come out of Chelsea. Now want to trace his father back to Nigeria. Please can I know more? Today is my birthday. Thanks. So happy birthday to you. But we've not gotten that information. I don't know. You have Ross Barkley tracing back his father?
Yeah. He said he's looking for his father. You know, I explained here a long time ago that Ross Barkley is actually Nigerian. His father is Nigerian. Well, his father is half Nigerian because his father got married to a white woman. So his mother is white, but his father is half Nigerian, and his grandfather was the one that was a full-blooded Nigerian. All right, time for us to go. So we thank you very much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow, but it will be at 4 p.m. because of the programs that will have. The Ramadan program will be from 3:30. So we'll be coming on at 4 p.m. tomorrow. All right, my name is Ali Ibrahim. The new is Onofe Francis and Negosa Agika. Bye-bye.
As the world marks Workers' Day, I salute all Edo workers working tirelessly to build a state that we can be proud of through their meaningful services and sacrifices. Although these are trying times for us all, I want to reiterate that despite dwindling economic fortunes caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, my administration remains resolute in our commitment to the welfare of workers in Edo State. This is why I have ensured that the payment of all workers and pensioners are as when due. My administration has continued to provide in-service training, life insurance, and special allowances to all health workers managing the coronavirus pandemic in the state. Although this is not equivalent to the extent of their sacrifices, it will at least ensure that they are well motivated to carry out their roles even more effectively as we ramp up effort to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. I urge everyone to stay at home and comply with all preventive measures against this deadly virus. Once again, I salute all workers on this auspicious day. Governor Obaseki, Governor Edo State.
My people, make una open our ears wide. Because of this coronavirus wahala, government don't say make everybody sit down for house. Coronavirus now, bad disease wey don kill many people. But no cause for alarm. Just do wetin government talk. Always wash your hands with soap. Cover your mouth and nose if you want cough and sneeze. Don't near anybody. Remember, say all markets and shops remain closed except medicine stores and shop for essential things. Government don't open food market for primary schools for every corner. You fit waka go there, but government say anybody wey wan comot for house must wear face mask. Remember, say if you see as your cough and sneeze be, or say your body dey hot, or you no fit breathe well, go see doctor or call this toll-free number 0800-123-5111 or 0800-220-0110. On our way just come from abroad, show yourself to government now, make them help you. My people, shine your eyes and sit down for house. Coronavirus no fit come meet you for your house. May just take government bring on this message.
92.7 KUFM. 92.7 KUFM News. Concise, precise, balanced, unbiased.
We are live from Benin City to the world.
This is 92.7 KUFM Newsbreak.
The time is 5 p.m. Good evening and welcome to Newsbreak on KU 92.7 FM, Benin City. First, the headlines. Edo government declares fleeing COVID-19 positive nursing mother wanted. Federal government says people without face mask in public will be prosecuted. Batabiamila salutes Nigerian workers, task them on productivity. On entertainment, Shatawale, 3-year-old boy, break the internet with COVID-19 awareness video. Details of this and more after this break. I'm Benjamin Kadiri. Now the news in detail. Edo State government has declared one Amaka Okoro wanted for absconding with her baby after testing positive for coronavirus. Amaka, who lives at number 2 Atoyi Dubo Street off 2nd Ugbo GRA, Benin City, disappeared with her baby, who's already coughing, when her results came out positive. The state governor, Godwin Obaseki, who made the declaration on Thursday during a press briefing, asked members of the public with information on her whereabouts to volunteer.
We are looking for one Amaka Okoro who lives at number 2 Atoyi Idubo Street off 2nd Ugbo. She has disappeared since yesterday and disappeared with a baby. She's infected, and we believe that baby may also have been infected. We want to get them and want to bring them to treatment as quickly as possible. So please, I'm imploring all citizens to help us and give us useful information as to her whereabouts and the whereabouts of that child so that we can save their lives.
Nigeria has recorded 204 new cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing the country's total infections to 1,932. According to a tweet by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Thursday, of the new infections, 80 are in Kano, 45 are in Lagos, while 12 are in Gombe. 9 each in Bauchi and Sokoto, Borno and Edo have 7 each. 6 are in Rivers, 6 in Ogun. 4 each in FCT, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa. 3 are in Kaduna. 4 each in FCT, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa. 3 are in Kaduna, 2 are in Oyo, 2 are in Delta, 2 are in Nasarawa, Ondo and Kebbi have 1 case each. Thursday's new cases are the highest reported in a day since the NCDC started compiling the pandemic data in February. The number of deaths from the virus also rose to 58, while 319 have now recovered. Across the world, the novel coronavirus has killed 235,121 people since the outbreak first emerged in China in December, while more than 3.3 million cases were registered in 195 countries and territories. Of these cases, over 1 million are now considered recovered. The federal government has released new guidelines for the new phase of containment of COVID-19 from May 4th to May 17, 2020. Part of the guidelines, which were signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said anyone without a face mask in public will be prosecuted. The guidelines were also specific about information to the general public, guidance to state and security agencies, and description of activities allowed under the new phase. The SGF said anyone who presents a temperature of above 38 degrees centigrade will be mandated to return home and call NCDC for evaluation. Boss Mustafa said anyone without a face mask will be asked to return home and will be prosecuted. He said those violating the curfew in a non-emergency situation will be prosecuted, or those attending a gathering of more than 20 people. The federal government has ordered civil servants from level 14 and above to resume their duties effective Monday, 4th of May. In a communique on Thursday evening, the head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemiesan, stressed that the resumption order includes those on essential services across the country. According to the statement, all those mandated to resume on Monday will be allowed to work 3 times a week, and closing time will be 2 p.m. The head of service further directed that those who are resuming must adhere strictly to the observance of social distancing, use of face masks, hand sanitizers, and good general hygiene, adding all federal secretariats have been decontaminated and efforts were ongoing to do same in other public offices. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has congratulated Nigerian workers in commemoration of this year's International Workers' Day. Gbajabiamila said, although the day is being marked quietly across the globe as a result of the lockdown necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic, there is much to remember about the sacrifices made by Nigerian workers. The Speaker, in a statement signed by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Lanre Lasisi, commended Nigerian workers for their commitment and dedication to work over the years, which, he said, has shaped the country tremendously. The Speaker then called on Nigerian workers to be more productive now and always, saying what was achieved before now must be sustained and improved upon. KFM News Break continues right after this break. Stay with us.
First baby cry in the labor room, and within the first 1 hour of birth, baby should be put to mother's breast. That first yellowish milk, colostrum, is the baby's first immunization and has the right nutrient baby needs to grow healthy, strong, and sharp. Ask the health worker to put your baby to the breast within the first hour. Give only breast milk, no water, no fluid, exclusive breastfeeding. Start strong, zero water for a better future.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Health, Edo State Government, with support from Alive and Thrive and other partners.
Ona age na yata mo makoyo ona ne coronavirus na wagbelevu na ege no keke na yaga lue ebe na ya yegbo wa ne botie toilet roll ra uponekere na ye mo bo ne botie akati yagunu kebihwe waga tolunwe ege no keke na yaga gbobo ege ya kebe ave lu hand sanitizer aje na bi egbe na mono tolunwe na san gege de kanwe ege na okeke na ga gba oge gboma kebe otemi yoma no sikoma deguna ge ige egbewe me no we ra ọmọ nọsike wẹ ẹgẹgẹ radio wisi negbe nọsike wẹsẹ usetin tiẹ olabana 08000267662 ra 08009700010 níwèdègbè tiẹ 08000267662 ra 08009700010 ujirege enwa ayahin magmo coronavirus na bege ba o KUFM 92.7 oyuna ya wewe.
Welcome back. Still in the news. The special advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari, Femi Adesina, says the suspect who leaked the draft speech of the president's nationwide broadcast has been arrested. The special advisor to the president revealed this in a piece entitled Enemies of the State. He said the suspect was responsible for leaking the draft speech of the president's speech hours before his nationwide broadcast on COVID-19 on Monday. Adesina likened the situation to an action thriller film produced in 1998 starring American actor Will Smith. The president's spokesman noted that as the country waited for the